Okay, we had closed session. We are out of closed session and now in open session. And if you would you please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And please remain standing. And for this, our law student, Ronald Miller, a brief moment of silence. Thank you. A tragedy we can all agree. Thank you for that. Appreciate that. That brings us to our meeting. We have no discipline actions this evening. Isn't that wonderful? That brings us to our consent agenda. And we have no changes to that, do we?
Yes.
Yes.
I would like to add, I apologize, Ms. Truex, we need to add in the list of department updates, I need to add a E12, and that would be the grant department or educational services. So just
Okay. Does anyone have any objection to that? Seeing none, duly entered into our consent agenda amendment. All right, so I would entertain a motion to approve the amended consent agenda.
So moved. Second.
I have a motion and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes.
Yes, motion passes 7-0. Thank you. Nice to see all of our board members present this evening. This is awesome. We're just going to get all sorts of things done with everybody here. I'm looking forward to that. That brings us to, I think, I'm way ahead of myself, item number 5, which should be public comments.
You didn't mess around, did you?
No, we're here. It's going to happen tonight.
All right. Yes, I'd like to thank our chairman, Dr. Ashton, and the board, and the rest of you for allowing me at this appointed time to come to you. And I called Dr. G, especially to her, illustrious Dr. G, for allowing me to do this at this particular time. I have every year we give out some scholarship to a worthy student or a student that apply for our scholarship there through the NAACP. I am the NAACP president here in Danville, and so we have 2 scholarships actually to give her tonight. And I'm going to do mine first, and I'm going to let her do hers after me. And if Isabel will come on up and. And this young lady, the rest of my NAACP people are here as well. Would you stand? And I have some of my members here, and Pastor Park and Pastor Bill, you don't have to stand if you don't want to there, Yeah, but this is to 2 of my members as well. But what we're going to do tonight is give her a scholarship that she applied for, and I know that she told me earlier she was nervous, and I told her she's a college student now, and so she don't have to toughen it up a little bit. But yes, I have the same compassion that Dr. G has, and about our young people. We love our young people, and whatever we can do for our young people, hey, that's me. And hopefully, good Lord's will, that we will be back in the schools, talking to our young people and kind of keep on that straight pad. But tonight, so we're going to honor Isabel Perez with this scholarship to help her, for further her education. And we understand she's going to Eastern. SIU in Carbondale. Okay, and she had a real good grade point, a GPA, and very, very impressive. But yes, see, we saw her grow up in the district, and and all of our grades, and I know her mom real well. So we used to work together, me and Patty, and so on the behalf of the NAACP branch of Danville, Illinois. The President Ed Butler and the Vice President Pastor McCullough is going to present to you this scholarship on the behalf of us, NAACP, there, so you can continue to further your education. I know this here about a few books for you, and so God bless you, girl.
Thank you.
And so the next lady I'm going to introduce to you, we used to go fishing, and at this pond, and this lady would go way on down south there to Alabama somewhere and get the fish and put them in her pond so that we can come out there and go fishing. And so we developed a relationship. We called her mom, we called her grandma, we called her Miss Pat. And here a while back, so she passed, and so her daughter, Becky Brown, so she wanted to do something in honor of her mother, and Miss Dolores Pat Sapp, and so at this time I'm going to introduce her daughter Becky Brown. You have to come at this time.
Thank you for having me. This scholarship was made in honor of my mom. She was a very loving and caring person. Anyone who knew her would call her grandma because she made you feel like you was part of her family. If you needed any help at all you had to do was ask, because she was always there for you, ready to help. She taught her family to feel the very same thing, to help others when needed. So, to continue with her belief in helping others, this scholarship was made to help someone further their education. It is my honor and pleasure to present the Dolores Pat Sapp Scholarship to Isabel.
Isabella, if you feel like it.
I wanted to thank you two for everything that you did, for giving me scholarships, and you, Mr. Hoskins, for giving me one too. It's been really hard. When I go through, I had a house fire, and my mom and me, I was so stressed out with everything. And I told her I was gonna do it. I was gonna make it through it. Through college and everything, I told her I was going to help you out no matter what.
You got it, baby.
And I want to thank you for helping our community too.
You got it, baby. Okay.
Well done.
I wanted you to know too, we're very proud of that young lady. She's one of our avid kiddos too. So, and that's what we're going to talk about next. So they just continue to impress me. Last week, I had the privilege of attending Minneapolis Avid Summer Institute with 44 educators for our district, and we had the most folks attend from Illinois at Summer Institute. And so we really appreciate the fact that we get to go, and we wanted to say thank you. So we're going to have two different, I'm going to do a little thank you and for my 5 minutes, and then they're going to do their thank you of a total of 5 minutes. So there's a few people, all together. We're going to do this fast, but I have a few emails of folks.
That's 10 minutes.
Yeah, but they're two separate. Okay, so I have emails that folks sent. So I just want to thank you because it's really hard to quantify what happens when we go to Minneapolis, and it is an extensive. It's an expense out of our grant funding, but it is very meaningful for the staff, and it translates very well to the students. So Dawn Brock from Northridge is a science teacher, and she, in her email, she talked about how she really learned about interactive notebooks. She does these things, but she learned how to do them properly for science, philosophical chairs, and how to use them after a lab, which is a really unique way to do it in science. And then after even a unit, and she was really excited about that. And then she learned a fishbowl activity that is a brainstorming activity that she can really help the students facilitate questioning, and she was really excited about that. And she said that her only complaint about Summer Institute is that she wanted to learn more strategies, and she would have liked to have been able to have 2 communities of practice, that's what they call their strands, so that she could have walked away with even more knowledge on the importance of AVID. So I thought that was a good complaint. Taylor Heston, who came and spoke to us a few weeks ago, she has the senior elective classes, and she said she's on vacation this week. She was really disappointed she couldn't come, but she said she's the AVID site coordinator and the AVID elective teacher, and she got to go to AVID before she even started teaching at DHS. And she said by far that was one of the best things that could have happened to her because she got to know the DHS staff before she even started. And we hear that when we have new staff go. And she said, my experience with AVID has influenced my life in more ways than I can count. I can honestly say without AVID, I would still not be here. I would probably not be here in Danville and may not be a teacher at all. I started teaching the sophomore and senior elective during the 1920 school year and fell absolutely in love. I didn't know about AVID when I decided to become a teacher, but it feels like I was made for it. And then when we shut down, I'm paraphrasing for it, when we shut down because of COVID, I didn't have family here, and without going to work and seeing friends, I felt very isolated. So I considered moving closer to home, but then I thought about my AVID students and specifically the sophomores at the time. This was Isabel's group. There was something about that class, and I knew I needed to see them through. So the class graduated this year, and I'm so grateful to have been a part of their educational journey. And as I look towards this coming school year, I'm excited to work with both the 23 and 24 classes and see how far they can go. Last week, I went to the training in Minneapolis. I feel refreshed, motivated, and ready to empower the students. Aubrey Metter is a brand new teacher in our district, but she has been teaching for 18 years in another district. She teaches PE and health-ish at Southview. Where it's not supposed to be. Okay, but she teaches healthy living at Southview. Let me rephrase that. And she said, I've taught PE and health for the last 18 years, and this training motivated me, inspired me to try a new approach to teaching. I'm writing this as a means to express my appreciation for the AVID Summer Institute experience and share the benefits I gained as an educator as well as what I believe our students will gain. I was given the tools to help children learn through writing, inquiry, collaboration, organization, and reading. And the presentation of the materials was done in such a way that we as educators learned through example. The information that was provided to us helped us to understand how to reach our learners through a variety of methods. With AVID, it is possible to create an environment for the teachers to be in accord regardless of the content area because of the way the material is presented with our students. Students will be familiar with the general assignments by utilizing proper note-taking, graphic frames, guided questions, collaboration, and organizations. Teachers and students exposed to AVID have a greater advantage of transfer of knowledge from year to year when used properly and consistently. I truly believe in the program and look forward to future institutes. This can be very beneficial to everyone. And then this is from Bob Cundiff. And I need to read his fully because it was Let me extend a sincere thank you for allowing staff members, including several from the site team at Southview and myself, to attend Avid Summer Institute Minneapolis this year. Although we often desire to have measurables to validate an expense, the impact of Avid on staff and students cannot be fully determined using metrics. The reset, recharge, and reinvigoration of staff provided by the conference has few qualifiers, although you can see it on their face or hear it in their talk. This should be considered most valuable as you allow staff members the opportunity to receive experiential training in best practices, build networks, and reconvene with their teams to share these ideas. What Avid Summer Institute trainers can do in 3 days would take our entire year of early out PDs and institutes, and then that is maybe at best. How does this impact students? As Avid strategies and activities are implemented by trained staff members, students experience higher levels of engagement. Research has historically shown that engaged students tend to have a higher attendance percentage, have a lower referral rate, and demonstrate a greater increase in learning. These strategies and activities allow students to experience the curriculum through multiple modalities, collaboration, and reflection. The depth of learning, while being student-driven, is facilitated by staff. As students engage in academic discourse and write reflections on their learning, the metacognition anchors the concepts and provides a base to build. This also lends itself to a community of learners that value the input or sharpening of a skill or concept. I appreciate the value Danville District 118 has placed on student learning by allowing staff to attend AVID, which equips staff members to effectively teach our students. So I just want to say thank you. It does something for me as well, being with these folks. And I'm going to that's my 5 minutes. So I'm going to let them talk for theirs now, but they won't take 5 minutes. So just say who you are and what.
I'm not going to use the microphone because my voice carries. My name is Paul Hubbard, and I am a resource teacher at Southview Upper Elementary. I had the opportunity to attend Avid Summer Institute last week, and might I tell you that I truly now understand the benefits of Avid school-wide and district-wide. Over the past 2 years, I've recorded announcements for my school, and it has been a great way to engage with students, and I have worked in a couple Avid strategies here and there. But the excitement I got from being able to learn strategies that I didn't randomly pull off a line, and I can use it, and they're best practices, and I'm showing both students and teachers daily how to teach better and how to learn better, really invigorated me. I'm so grateful for this opportunity that you, as the board and District 118, gave me to go. I feel invested in as a teacher. I feel like I've grown in just a week's time. I'm excited to go back to school, and I just want to finish off by saying that I hope that this investment continues, because there's no better way for me as a young teacher who has a lot of possibility to feel like they are invested in and can stick around a tough district with tough demographics and be able to make a big difference. So thank you.
Yay.
Excuse me. Hi, I'm Lori Grant. I'm the Avid coach at Mark Denman. This has been my third, maybe fourth Summer Institute, and I loved it as always. I took a different strand this year, more of the leadership role, which kind of did both. It showed me some new things and techniques to bring back, but it also showed me how far above so many other districts that we are, and it blew my mind. I was like, what? Like, we've been doing this for years, like, and you don't know what that is? And they're like, no, can you share that? So I shared some awesome D118 things with people. I shared with 70, so now I'm interconnected with 70 different districts and things. But so it was fun to show off a little bit of what we did. And that's one of the biggest things I took away this year, was that collaboration piece with not only our own teams when we go and collaborate and work together and plan for what's coming up, but also just the other districts. You get to see all the different ways they interpret the same things we're learning and how they're using it. And it's just exciting and fun to see. So I hope we get to continue to go. I hope to inspire more staff. I hope they're watching and hear how exciting it was for you for one of your first times. So it is great. We love it. And Mary Ellen, as always, is always there to support us through all of it. And that's a great task to have her in one place with us for an extended period of time. So thank you, guys.
Good job.
Good evening, members of the board, Dr. Geddes, Dr. Jacoby, Mr. Hart, D118 family and friends. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Eric Nethercott, and I am one of the assistant principals at Mark Denman Elementary. Building off what my colleague said, for me, the biggest thing that I got from AVID was the sense of what the AVID system is. One of the leaders of our breakout session said a quote that really stuck with me. She said, "We do not rise to the level of our goals. We fall to the level of our systems." And for me, attending this conference, seeing all the different pieces of AVID, networking with people not just from the district, but also from across the United States, seeing how the different pieces of leadership and organization and instruction and development, seeing how all that fits together really highlighted the importance of AVID and how AVID works to educate every child every day. And I know that sounds very general, but there's so many specifics like we were talking about just a moment ago, that too many to list. And I really appreciated the opportunity, and I'm looking forward to continuing on with AVID at Mark Denman and in the district. Thank you, everybody.
Good job. I'm glad all of you came to speak because I think after sending the Minneapolis, and I've been with you a couple of times, it has changed a bit, the surroundings from where we have the conference, and you can see that it's not the same. And so I am concerned that if they don't improve the area, I'll be forced to ask the board to maybe send you to Texas. You know, it's just because we need to continue. That has to continue. But I don't know if it can be Minneapolis next time. I may have to come ask them for some more money.
Obviously, with downtown Minneapolis, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And right, I tried not to say that where it was, but I do. Thank you for coming because that helps feed my argument that we might just have to go to Texas. So.
Yeah, but they have the Mall of America.
Okay, but it's the coming home and because we walk a lot of places and we go to dinner together and it's a lot of walking and it was different for you this time and I knew that and so we got through that, but if it doesn't improve, we're gonna have to do something different. Okay, still going.
Still different is still going.
Yeah, I know my people. Still going. We just may need more money. Okay, all right.
No more? Okay. Normally, we don't comment on public comments, Dr. Geddes.
I know, but I said I wasn't doing that anymore.
Normally, we don't do that, so I'll violate also to make you feel better. No, really, I'm sitting here going, wow, you guys are really pumped on this AVID. I mean, we've heard AVID, and, you know, I think we're kind of familiar with it on the board level because we've heard the presentations, but it's really refreshing in public comments to hear that much positivity coming from this group. It kind of makes me want to go to the AVID conference next year because it had to be great. So I hope that continues on throughout the year. Because that's just exciting to hear all you guys bring that positivity back. So that's awesome. So I'm glad to see that. So we appreciate it very much. But we must go on to business. So item number 6.
Wait. So we approved consent, right?
Yes. You want to say something about it?
Yes, Kim Pabst. We should say congratulations because we had a few. Yes, come on. There's
Thank
something
you.
happened in that consent that we need to highlight.
Thank you.
Okay, let me come on up.
Before we go to item number 6.
Before you go on, however, I need to get my paper. Do you have yours?
It's in the. We want to say congratulations to a few people.
Yep.
Oh, I have this. Here you go.
All right. Let me. Are you ready?
You got it?
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
thank you, ma'am.
We have some very exciting news tonight. We are welcoming 3 new assistant principals to our Danville District 118 team. And luckily, one of them was able to join us tonight. So we will start with Mr. Brent Lockhart. I'm going to come on up, Mr. Brent Lockhart. Mr. Lockhart is going to be one of our assistant principals at Mark Denman Elementary School. Mr. Lockhart joined our team in 2017 at Northeast Elementary School. You have coached a lot of different. You've coached soccer at Danville High School, correct? And then you were instrumental with the band, with growing our band at Northeast, correct? Awesome. So he's been quite the leader, and now he's ready to take on a new role. So he's ready to lead as one of the assistant principals at Mark Dimon Elementary School, and he's ready to give back more to more students in the district and to the families of our district. So, Mr. Lockhart, would you like to say anything?
Oh, sure.
All right.
Yes. I'll make it short. Good evening, the board first, Board of Education, Dr. Geddes, also Dr. Jacoby, Mr. Hart, and friends and family of 118. Just very grateful and honored to have this privilege to move forward. I too was at the AVID conference, and it was a blast. And I think it should be mandatory for all admins to ride together in a car for 8 hours. You really get a united front. That's what I got from that. One other thing I wanted to say. Thankful to Mr. Thorlton and the Northeast family. It was quick. So I'm not going to get emotional because I'm excited about new things. But I think at times. You're looking back and you have fond memories, and so I'm looking forward to the next part. Also, big thanks. It would be a really long list, but a big thanks to my wife, and she's here in attendance. Mr. Wright, many other people that helped me along the way to get where I am today. As far as the AVID conference, one of the big things that I took away from it was culture. And I think it was Mr. Cundiff who talked about that too. Just getting everyone together in one spot and just realizing that we're all in this together and we can do this. And then for me, I'm just a big community person. And so not just with culture, but as far as moving with the community, I'm excited to get in and get to know all these families and get ready to work. So let's go Rockets.
There you go. It's always fun to announce new staff members and new positions, current staff members and new positions. Mr. Steve Martin is going to be our new assistant principal, one of our assistant principals at Southview Upper Elementary School. We want to send a huge congratulations to him. He was unable to attend tonight. He is very apologetic. He had prior commitments and could not come. Mr. Steve Martin, though, did join the district in 2009. He was a math teacher when he first started here at Northridge Middle School. He, too, has coached multiple sporting activities for the district, ranging from both boys and girls extracurriculars, from Southview to Northridge to Danville High School. He has taught previously at Southview, so he is familiar with the school building, and some of the staff are still around. He also has been a teacher at KDBA. Mr. Martin is very dedicated to our students as well and is really looking forward to this new position. He brings much excitement as well, and he's ready to give back even more to our families of the community. So congratulations to Mr. Martin, another assistant principal for Southview Upper Elementary. Our next assistant principal will be coming to Danville High School from another district. His name is Michael Williamson. He is unable to attend tonight. He does send his apologies. He definitely would be here. He just truly cannot. So he will be coming to us as a previous special education teacher of another district around here. He brings much experience as a teacher leader and also in the area of special education. So he told us he's very excited to be part of our D118 team. He is ready to get to know staff. He's ready to work with the admin team at the high school as well as all of us, with our students and families. And he's been waiting to get into our district, so he is very enthusiastic about it. So Mr. Michael Williamson will be joining our Danville High School team as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Rice. We did him last time. We had done him before the
Okay, so that's awesome. Welcome. We enjoy and entertaining our new
But
members.
we did Chris Rice before, right?
Yeah, we did.
Okay, all right. Just want to
Yes, we have. You can do them again if you like.
No,
but,
it's good.
We'll give them all the accolades. But that brings us to item number 6, which is so exciting: school calendars.
Again.
Let's amend them.
Again.
Anyone want to tell us what we're amending? And
Mr. Hart?
It was Mrs. Button.
oh, pass. Oh,
I
it's her. It's her.
We wanted to.
Yeah.
I've been trying to pass this off for a long time.
So, we had some interesting situations yet again with our calendar, and we were trying to work with some of the new holidays days off that the governor provided to Illinois, and to make it less cumbersome on families. And in doing so, we realized that we erred in not providing staff with a day off after they worked extra for conferences. So on a Friday, and we gave them that day off on Monday. We have to give them that day off in the same week that they work extra for conferences. So we had to make 2 slight adjustments in the calendar to reflect that extra work in the same week that they provide it. So unfortunately for families, we're going to have a strange week in November. Yes, 2 strange weeks in November. And then April will be probably won't feel much different than it had. We just flipped a professional development day with a day off after Easter. So there will be a day off. Of Good Friday will be off, and then the Monday after Easter will flip to a professional development day instead. Mm-hmm. So that one won't feel weird for the families. We tried really hard on that one. But.
That November 4th. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So, because we are off for Election Day now. So, it'll be an interesting 2 weeks in November.
I'm just waiting
That's it.
for a motion.
So move.
Thanks. I have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments on our amended calendars? Why bother? Because we'll do it again in 3 weeks.
We're going to try real hard not to.
Yeah. So I won't ask. Do what is recommended. Roll call vote, please.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, motion passes 7-0. Thank you very much. Now we're item number 7. These are department updates.
Mm-hmm.
When we discuss this, they're supposedly very brief updates. So it's because during the summer is a good time to what's going on in the district. So we're going to hear from everybody from everywhere, but very briefly. So
Yes.
it's like snippets, right, Dr. Geddes?
It is snippets, and I'll start with the first snippet. If you,
Okay, you may.
Keisha's gonna ding us. With
Superintendent Office 8.
3 minutes, and she's gonna ding. I'm gonna go quick. So to focus on the Board of Education in one of our recent meetings set goals, and so once they set goals, it's my job to implement them. And one of the student achievement and the graduation requirements, we really tackled that last year. I think we made significant impact in meeting with the students and jumping through the additional hoops with FAFSAs and getting those kids over the bridge. I think we'll see the numbers there. We will continue. We'll expand that focus. We've had some challenges to us, they presented a challenge to us to increase our dual enrollment because the DAC had some information. So I'm saying, okay, so the way I met with the 12th graders, I need to meet with the 9th graders to get them on track. Got it. The 11th grade, the 12th graders, I'm going to continue the Dr. Geddes week. The 11th graders to get them set for 12th grade, but then the 10th graders, I need to get them set. So basically, it's all of them to meet everybody's needs. I want to say thank you to Sade Pascal, who, do you notice when graduation we had the signs out so that what we realize is our community is unaware of the jobs that are available right here in our community. So the Board of Education gave me the ability, District 118 paid for those signs. We advertised those companies so that parents knew what was available to them. And Friday when I presented to Step Up, I got a note from John Stahlcup, I think he's Flexingate, to say thank you, because for the first time in years, they are staffed at full capacity. And that was a direct result of what we had done. And so kudos District 118, because we made an impact on the companies, which made an impact on the parents, which makes an impact on the parents, the students. And so we all reap the benefits. I was exhausted after that. Those kids, they're draining when you're trying to pour into each one of them. So thank you for the time to regroup, and then now I need to do every grade level that way with a different focus. So that is to work on your goal, number 1, student achievement. And the other one was Skip was going to talk about our buildings, which is your number 3 goal. Number 4, Miss Rankin is going to talk about with the district finances. For the last 3 months, we have changed the way we are presenting the budgets as you have asked. And the community relations, that's your number 5 goal. Well, I did not get to hire the communications person yet because there's some challenges with that about managing another person full time. We're going to partner with White Smith Marketing to get the message out there. You see, we did the ad in the paper for our kids with the full rides. I noticed another school was inspired to talk about their students and where they were going, but mimicking is the best form of flattery, isn't it, right? Okay, yay 118. But we need to do more to celebrate, and the calls and the cards that we receive from the parents to say thank you for celebrating my child, we need to do more of that. So that's me working on your number 5 goal, the community and district relations. And like I said, the feedback we're receiving from the businesses in our community about what 118 has done for them to change their dynamics of hiring, I think we're working on that goal as well. So I will continue to work on your goals. See how fast that was?
Thank you. And as this is informational, if there's any questions, any questions on any of that?
No.
Good. Let's go to B, curriculum.
The 3-minute version. 3.
I'm gonna beat that.
Notice she ran up there. It's
I had
because
a
this
pep
is in
talk
your.
earlier today.
Yeah.
How many?
Yeah.
You're losing your minutes.
Okay, I'm gonna beat it. Okay, so Northeast started today with students. We worked really hard to get all their textbooks before I left with the group for Avid. So we're making sure that's set. We're getting the textbooks ready for everything else. Everybody else, the only thing that we're short is 2nd grade foundations. So we yelled at the company that I don't think they were real worried that I yelled at them, but we yelled at them. August 3rd, we're going to get together to talk about school improvement and Avid site team goals. And then next week, I'm working to get all the textbooks out for everybody else. We're going to focus on phonics this next school year for the elementaries and writing to learn district-wide. Organization is a goal that we decided as a district-wide administrative team, like all the principals and everybody. We're going to create an articulation plan so that we have an organizational, so our students are organized from K to 12. And that is your curriculum update, and I think I beat a minute. Maybe.
Okay.
Good job, Mary Ellen Button.
I actually had a question.
Wait, come back.
This
Miss
sorry.
Button.
I know we're kind of racing. I have a question.
Okay, yes.
I haven't heard about this with the change in the school code that's taking place on August 1st. I wanted to know one way or the other. Does our district have a comprehensive personal health and safety education or comprehensive sexual health education curriculum in place?
Okay. We do not have to follow that.
Right.
Because we don't teach that aspect of things. So we teach like how to eat healthy, those types of health, so we don't have to follow the other parts of that program.
Just wanted to be clear about that.
Okay. And I filled out that survey today for the state, actually. So.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. Wonderful. Technology.
Okay, here we go. All right, so
I liked how you all got up too, because that puts pressure on the person up here to get it done. Yeah,
that's right.
I like
right.
that. You don't want to stand forever.
We're rolling.
Yeah.
So my big goal is going to be security. So kind of I've divided it up into 2 different areas: personal security as well as system security. We talked about this in our meeting, and it's one thing that I kind of already knew about and knew what was happening. But I've talked to many districts, and so along with personal security, we'll be implementing, it's called multi-factor authentication, basically, you probably already do it. It's when maybe you get on your
Multi-factor.
bank account and they.
Could you speak up just a little bit more?
Sorry.
That's okay. We just
I've been
started.
doing that. I think my voice is like. So basically, like your bank account, when you log in and they say, "Hey, we're going to send you the passcode and verify that it's you." We've noticed that a lot of districts are getting the hacking is kind of increasing. Ransomware attacks are even happening. So in order to protect ourselves, we're going to have to start implementing those higher level personal securities because we're on our phones a lot more and we're mobile. And so we need to make sure that we're protected as well as the data that's being transmitted through. So what we're going to do is the problem will be it's going to take a process because we have to implement it in stages. So the initial start will be administration, then we'll work with staff and teachers, and then we'll work with students. I know that I've already talked to Champaign-Urbana, one of those schools. They've already gotten to the point where they're already implementing it this year with their students. So we're kind of a little bit behind. So we want to make sure that we get that. The next one will be the systems. We've noticed that a lot of the security has kind of gotten laxed. COVID changed things for us. Everybody was doing this job, that job. They needed to access this and access that. So we've noticed that. So what we're going to do is we've already recognized that it's kind of a little bit lax. So we're going back. We're checking out those security measures and seeing where the security lies and where we need to make those changes. Issue with that is it's going to take some time because it's not like I can click a button and say everything's fixed. One of those things that will help will be Q. We couldn't implement it this year, but it will be for next year. Their security is a lot tighter and it's more granular. So we'll be able to do a lot more work with that. So security was a big issue for us. Any questions?
Yes.
Yes.
How are we on hardware?
The refresh.
Yeah,
we
on machines, hardware. I mean,
Yep.
are we? Everything's okay.
Yes, we're good. Everything's fine.
No shortage. No.
No, we just got a huge shipment in this week, and they said that they should be getting our other stuff within the next few weeks. So.
Okay, so that's good.
Considering the supply chain issues,
Yeah.
we're actually doing pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you.
Mhm.
Human resources.
Human resources. The goals for us right now are to find the right staff, to put the staff in the right places, and there's a lot of pieces for that. And to be ready to serve our students, every student that very first day that school starts and every day thereafter. So recruiting is obviously a big goal, but again, it's the right people at the right places. So there's been a lot of movement. I'm sure you've seen in the HR packet with building changes and things like that. We want people happy. We want them to want to come to work. So that is our job right now, is ensuring we have right people in the right places, be ready to serve our students. We're working to really work to train and teach our staff health benefits that we have, the fact that our board pays retirement. Maybe we're not realizing how much is really in the full package of what we are giving and what our staff are earning from us. So that is something else that a goal of ours is to really make sure that's communicated even more this year. Right now, our plans are to continue our evaluation, our recruiting pieces. We're working on some more in-person training since COVID hit. A lot of our companies that we work with, such as our evaluation company, they don't come in person anymore. They only want to do Zoom training. We want them in person. We're paying them a lot of money, so we're trying to make some plans to get people here to train us. We are working, we have lots of plans in place as a whole team, not just HR, to really recognize the staff that are returning and that have returned year after year after year. So you will see some great plans coming your way for some thumbs up so that we can push forward with that, not only recognizing new staff, but all staff that keep returning every day. We're working to update our onboarding process, do as much of it, streamline it as much as we can, computerized, electronic, but then still get that person-to-person touch as well. So some obstacles in place, retention is an obstacle. I do want to report out, though, that when we look at reasons for people leaving, and I say we have had some fabulous educators from teachers, TAs on that have left this year, and there are so many reasons from they're moving home, they're moving for their spouse's job, They're switching careers altogether. That's been at the all-time high this year for our feedback that we've gotten. They're moving to a school closer to be with their children. One thing COVID did is it taught us time is precious. There's nothing that, all I can say is I understand that. I want to be on my child's calendar. I want breaks with my children. I want to be able to take my child to work with me. Those are the things we're hearing. So those are obstacles for retention, but we are going to continue to work towards that. Okay. Yes, Miss Carey.
I have one question, and it's probably to you and to the Danville Association. I know we've got to start looking outside of the box when we're talking about recruiting, and have we thought about, especially support staff, half-time, part-time days? But the reason I'm saying that is, I've talked to a few retired people, not just retired educators, but have said, okay, can I work 4 hours a day? Can I?
And we need those teaching assistants,
and hall
especially.
monitors and that type of thing. So, just to you both, if we can look at that, I know a few folks
Send them our way.
that will do 4 hours. They can't do a whole day, but would come in and so that's something just outside the box. And I know we've got to start thinking about that.
It's something that actually we've talked about, and it is something that we are able to do. Dr. Geddes is smiling because she's been pushing that.
I realize what the gap is. We don't have we assume people know that although we have the posting for a hallway monitor, that the part-time option is there. We need to post specifically for these part-time.
They don't know it's there.
And I just wrote that down. We'll have those up by the end of the week.
They don't know it's there. Because I've had a number of people asking.
We didn't specifically do that, so, yep.
Absolutely.
Got it. That's great.
And please send us their names. We need a lot of hall monitors. Our TAs are at an all-time low.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
I have a question.
Yes.
It was encouraging to look at the HR packet today, at all the hirings.
very
It was a
big
little
one.
discouraging at all the departures, but also the hirings were good. But the number one question I get in the community over and over again, how many vacancies do we have going into the school year for teachers?
For teachers, right now at elementary, we're at 7. I'm going to give you some rough numbers when it comes to middle school and upper elementary and the high school because we are looking at different schedules. So some schedules for Southview may say 9, middle school 11, high school, they actually are filling up very quickly. They just need some science. But we've also dropped a lot of our courses at the high school due to enrollment. So when I say they're looking good on the new enrollment numbers, not offering all the classes that we used to. And the same with Northridge as well. So, okay. And TAs, we need a lot. I mean, a lot from hall monitors to special education, PAs, personal aides. I think we have around less than 20.
Calling all people. Okay.
And we need them. Yep. Thank you.
Thank you. You want to go out of order? It's food service.
Oh, I'm doing food service. Okay. So in the area of food service, Miss Zeta, she and her family had an issue.
Okay.
We talked about, she took one of the kitchen managers, and that person's focus is actually going to be on cooking. And we want to move away from, the pandemic sent us into a mode of having to use a lot of prepackaged food because of what we get from commodity orders and what the state was able to get and what we're mandated to use. And we did not have a good year during the pandemic. It was rough. And so we're trying to get back some normalcy. And it's I can tell you, it's a struggle for both Zeta and I, because I have awards for my food service program. Like, I'm that person. And now here I am where I have so many orange foods going out that I'm struggling. Orange foods are or prepackaged, your chicken nuggets, your all that stuff is orange. And so disproportionately in communities, my whole dissertation, I won't go there. 3 minutes, I got it. So we took one of the kitchen managers, and their focus is on cooking at Danville High School so that we have that stuff available. We're going to go opening up the lines. Remember where we had those things are coming back, trying to get them stacked properly, trying to do a school food market because of what we were seeing with our pantry, during the week. Disproportionately, we're out there serving the community, but it's not Danville District 118 community. And so we need to do something. We changed it, moved it from Southview to Mark Denman to serve the population, but we recognize we need to take those markets and put them in the school. And so when we came up with that idea, the food bank loved it and said, if you do it, we'll support it. Nobody's doing anything like that, so we're going to give that a try this year. The state called and awarded us the Fresh Fruit and Vegetable Grant again, even though we had not applied. They said you did such a great such a great job, and they like what we're doing with the fruits that came out. So they gave us another $78,000 on that. We're going to reopen the snack and a la carte area at Danville High School. You know it is my goal to have a supper program, so I just need to take these community partners who are speaking this evening. I need to get you in my buildings for an education component, because once I can do that, I can then feed the children dinner. And so we're going to talk about that as well. And then Ms. Zetta has set up the Food Services Student Advisory Committee. I had enough feedback from being in the high school that they tell me it's awful. So now we're going to put them on the committees, and they will actually do the testing and help us get it back to where we need to be. So that's what we're doing in food service.
Thank you.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
I was in Orlando, and the National Food Service School.
National School Lunch Program?
Yes, they were there. We went looking for Miss Zetta to see if we was there. I just want to say.
In Orlando?
In Orlando.
She wasn't there.
Yeah. But I just think that it's something we need to, because there was very interesting sneaking in some sessions. I shouldn't say that. But, to kind of figure out the things that's happening across the country as far as food and schools are concerned, and what the issues are, not just for us. That was the reason why, because I was thinking, can everybody be going through what we're going through? They are. And so it's really interesting, what they were. But one lady I did talk to, when you were talking about the vegetables, and she's going to get in touch with Ms. Zetta, because they don't know about that. And which it was, to me, a plus for us.
Like I said, I struggle because I have awards for my food service program. I have national awards. I have letters from the Obamas about my food service, and here I am, and it's awful. So I'm really I'm having an identity crisis with it. But we will fix it. We will fix it. We will not be here long because we're the trailblazers. I know how to do that. I just doesn't help though when I can't get the product. Then they're like, no, this is what we're getting, and maybe you'll get this, and maybe you won't. And so hopefully that is all behind us, and we can get back to where we're supposed to be.
Look to the future. Okay.
Good evening. Molly Bailey, Director of Special Education. I'm going to start with some positive things.
Well, why don't you just keep going with that? Yeah.
Well, I'm going to try. But I'm really excited to say that we're continuing to strengthen our social emotional learning for the district. Working on that PBIS, working with PBIS, and working with Dr. Tan and our community agencies, working with my colleagues to kind of blend that with our academics, and so it's going to be seamless this year. I think we have a really good plan going. We met today for a long time, and we hashed it all out. I think we got there, so we're ready, and I think we have a good plan going for that. Also continuing with security during the pandemic. We weren't in the buildings. We didn't need that. I'm working with IT, and we're going to get that all straightened out and be using that again. Also, just my secretary retired, and so my office is just going to go undergo a little bit of it's growing pains, it's learning, it's readjusting, and so we're working on that in the special ed department. But the challenge for special education right now is staffing. When I took this job, there were 16 teacher vacancies. We don't have 16 teacher vacancies, but we have a lot of vacancies and a lot of related service vacancies. Those are very specific people. You can't get subs. You can't just
nobody else can do those positions. So that's what we'll be working on: recruiting, retaining the people that we do have, being in the buildings, acknowledging those staff. The pandemic was very hard for special education staff. They were the first ones teaching kids remotely and in person at the same time. And for a long time, they were the only ones that were expected to do that. It was hard and they're tired. And so, I got to build them back up. And I've been talking to contract agencies. I have talked to the hospital about trying to help us with some supports and services. So that's what we're doing.
Any questions?
How are we letting those that we do still have know that we appreciate them? Still, I know Kim said something about.
I started at the end of last school year. So, it's what we can do. It's socials. It's me being out in the buildings. It's Miss Nixon being out in the buildings. Just anything that we can do. There's not unlimited funds for that kind of thing, but, we try to just what we can do to just let them know and be there and see it. Meet with them. Miss Nixon and I are often at IEP meetings. She's going to be working probably 2 roles this year, helping with as a school psychologist as well. So I'll be taking on some of her things. Like I said, we're going to be shifting gears a lot in the special ed office this year. So we, as much as we can do, we sure try.
Okay. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Kelly Truex, Director of Educational Support Programs. And what we're working on in my department with grants is moving money a lot. We move money around, we amend money within the grants so that we make sure that the money that we're using will be there for whatever the district needs. I also work with the building principals and the district departments to be sure we use grant money first. I always say, please come to me first because we want to use the grant money before we use the district money. So that's a big thing we're working on. And new teacher mentoring, Mary Ellen and I will be, we're hiring mentors this year to be with our new teachers. We've had a new teacher program that we met monthly, but this year we are hiring mentors with expectations that they meet with their teacher weekly and then they meet with all of us monthly. So we'll be training them as well. With school improvement, I'll continue to support our existing designated schools with Illinois Empower. If we have any new designated schools, we'll be working with them as well. We'll find that out in October. I assist the building principals with monitoring the adult practices that are leading to their school improvement, and I meet with those building teams. We'll be doing that. With assessments, we're supporting the building PLCs and the principal to make sure we're utilizing that data. We do those assessments, but I'm kind of a data geek. I'm always pulling those things with the IER test, SAT, and our standardized screener. And then share the data out. I know Dr. Geddes would like to do some more data presentations to the board, so share those out to all stakeholders. McKinney-Vento, our numbers are increasing really a lot in McKinney-Vento, which is our homeless population. I was just getting to that. And so we got a $130,000 grant from McKinney-Vento that we are buying supplies that we will be housing at Garfield. Brandy Kucheski has met with Skip. They chose a couple rooms that they'll be keeping those things that will be available for our homeless families and the things that they need. We provide hotels. We provide any kind of like groceries and toiletry items and clothing and things like that. So we are gathering those things and buying as many things as we can so that we can support them. And then lastly, the community agencies, we monitor those and we would like to see an increase in our participants in our community agencies. We had this year, and you'll hear a presentation for them the end of the year data, and we'd like to see even more kids take advantage of that. So any questions for the grants department?
Are you seeing the same number of grants available at the state this year as you did last year?
Yes. We haven't had a change. Our allocations are the same. We haven't seen a difference. Matter of fact, we've seen an increase in funds.
At the state level?
Well, at the federal level with title grants. Our pre-K grants are our state grants, and they stay the same for 5 years.
I think the feds will run out eventually. That's why I asked about the state.
Right. Well, our state grants are pre-K grants.
Yeah.
The rest of our grants are federal. Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Board. Dr. Geddes, D118 family. I am Narcissus Rankin, Director of Business and Finance. So this is the time of the year where business office is focusing on wrapping up one fiscal year and starting a new one. So currently we're focused on audit preparation and updating contracts in the system. So we're working closely with HR to make sure that the information that we have is correct. And we are doing that through a checks and balance system, which includes auditing by myself and Mrs. Paps. The business office is also experiencing growing pains. We have filled some open positions. We've moved around some people in the department. But one of the perks of that is that I've got some cross training going on. So I have more than one person, more than 3 people that could do payroll, 3 people that could do payables. I got a treasurer. So that has been one of the nice things about all the movement. But that's what's happening right now. And that too will ensure a consistent workflow, and it'll provide some additional support in the business office. We are also focusing on preparing to try and transition to the new Skyward software, which is Q. Annette, you spoke about that. Was that Annette? Which the finance part of moving to a new system is huge. So we're working on that. It's important to me that we work closely with administrators and support staff to make sure that they understand their budgets, account numbers. I feel like when people have this information, it allows them to do their jobs better. So we're always available for that. And you guys may have noticed there's been some changes to how I've been presenting the financials in the board packet. The new format, to me, provides a cleaner definition of the expenditures and the revenues. So you guys, those have been like separate instead of all on one spreadsheet, in addition to a month-to-date breakdown for all the funds. So I'm hoping that those have been user-friendly, but I am always available for questions about it.
So,
Yes.
how is the budget and expenses and income? Was it pretty accurate for last year? Any huge surprises or minimal?
So my expenditures were about where we projected, budgeted. My revenue, not so much, because we got some extra money for corporate replacement property tax money, which all the districts in the state got. So that it was much higher than I anticipated.
Okay. Which is a good thing.
It is. It is.
Okay. And then we'll find out how we carry that over to the next year, and we'll see how how that's budgeted and accounted for. Okay.
Yep.
Which we'll see.
Yeah.
Okay. I like that. So,
They'll give me new numbers for next year at the beginning of August. But last year they gave me anticipated an estimate. It's way over it.
okay. Great. Any other questions?
You think we'll pass the audit better than last year?
I do.
Good.
I do.
Good work.
Is that it?
Thanks.
Oh, thank you.
Buildings and grounds, we save the best for last. 3 minutes.
Good evening, Board. Dr. Geddes. And everybody got 5 minutes. I'm starting to get a complex. I get 3 and I'm the last one.
Well, how about we compromise? I give you 4.
Okay. All right. So goals, as building and ground goals really don't change that often. Our goal is to train people better as we go along, maintain the buildings the best we can, inside and out. Creature comfort's a big thing for us. Some of the other things that we like to do is we keep track of work tickets. Seth actually implemented a new work ticket system for us this last year, and we can track how long it takes for us to respond, how long it takes for us to complete the task, different things like that. So we're happy with that. It's working very well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and I'm just going to read a few things that we've been working on this summer, if that's okay, or towards the end of last school year. It's been short this year, so I really want to say thank you to all the custodians because we've moved a tremendous amount of furniture, desks, tables, trying to clean the buildings with the summer school and all the other activities that take place throughout the summer. So it's been somewhat of a challenge, but they've worked really hard. So I'll run through really quick since I have 3.5 minutes. I'll go quick. Southwest boiler, chiller, valve, motor upgrades complete. DHS boilers and chillers complete. Waiting on HVAC units for Liberty, should arrive hopefully sometime in October. DHS new basketball goals are complete. Fieldhouse divider curtains are complete. DHS lights and fieldhouse complete. DHS new pool boiler complete. DHS new HVAC unit for server room complete. DHS staff restrooms on all 3 floors. We're remodeling those. They should be done before the start of the school year. Those are the teacher restrooms. We're remodeling the lounge, kind of a small remodel down there for the teachers at DHS. It'll be complete before the start of the school year. DHS, we put new flooring in T100, T101, T37, T38, as well as new paint and slightly remodeling 227, 228. DHS East Food Line will be painted with new lighting, electrical upgrades, as well as main cafeteria. We're not painting the entire cafeteria, but we're doing a lot of touch-up and half walls and things of that nature. Liberty new playground, they're going to be starting on that tomorrow. It'll be done by Friday afternoon. We have 4 semi-loads of mulch that will be delivered to all the schools and playgrounds, and then we'll take a skid steer around to all the schools and we'll level it off throughout the district. Working on outdoor drainage at Edison. Over the years, there's been a lot of water coming in through the basement. So if you drive by Edison, you see the whole front yard dug up. That's what we're doing. We're trying to correct those problems now before it gets prolonged. That should be complete by the end of this week. The JB has been remodeled with new training room and other improvements. Southview is coming along pretty well. We have 38 classroom HVAC units in operation by the end of this week. Fencing at Edison and Liberty will be complete before the school starts. I've been working on KDBA and Northeast projects as far as, layouts and different things like that. I'll be honest with you, both of those have changed quite a bit, and I'll share that with you later. Still working on some logistics with the 72 edition. Have a meeting on that tomorrow because of lead times on some equipment. It's not as good as what we anticipated. The auditorium should be finished by the end of the month, except for the soundboard that will come later. We'll be using a tent for now. Bid openings for the track resurface will be next week. That's Tuesday afternoon at 2:30. The furniture moving equipment, as well as many other mechanical, electrical items around the district, have been complete. We'll be giving a landscaping facelift to the front of DHS and Clock Tower area. I can explain that a little bit. If you've noticed, the brick area and even the class of 1982 brick area around the tree, it's all broken and, things are kind of not in good shape. And then some of the flower beds really aren't in very good shape. It's kind of messy. So I should have that done by the end of August. Tuck Point at Edison should begin next week. Then we're going to move to DHS after that. They'll be doing some Tuck Point at DHS while school's in session. We really don't have a choice, though. We put new carpeting in all of Edison's hallways, and we repaired that wall on the backstage underneath where that old window used to be, and we tore all that out and redid that, so it looks pretty good now. We've been mowing, spreading mulch, repairing driveways in all the buildings as we normally do. I know I've left many things out. This gives you a general idea. One thing we found at the end of last week is the main exhaust hood for the high school kitchen. It's actually in one of the interior courtyards, but it hangs out over the edge all the way up to the roof on the 3rd floor. So it's completely shot. We can't even repair it. You really can't even get to it because, I had a difficult time the other day. I had to have somebody hold me while I was hanging out trying to see what was going on. And the new one will be here in about 2 weeks, so we'll pull it with a crane and use a man basket, and I'm sure we'll have it ready before school starts. Let me see what else I have. We're still working on, of course, Canon. And I will say that Seth, he's been working on many things. I can't even tell you what he does all day long. He's got so many things going. He's worked on the employee contract. He does training, keys, door access fobs, safety items, cameras, fire systems, warehouse. I mean, he's moved staff, key audits, phones, hotspots, Raptor system. I can't even tell you what all he does every day, but he does a lot. I mean, I wouldn't be able to do what I do if he doesn't do what he does. I mean, we just kind of work that way. So, the only other things that we've had going on is we had quite a few roof leaks throughout the roof of Danville High School, and they spent about 2 weeks going. I did an audit late last fall. I did a roof audit on that entire building, and then they were able to come this summer and then make all the repairs. We had quite a few places leaking throughout that building. So that's about it.
I have
Any
a couple of
questions?
questions. Can you give us an update on first the DHS auditorium project, and then also on where are we with the science labs, what to expect?
Oh yeah, the food science lab. I forgot about that. The food science lab will be complete before the start of school too. The 72 edition, we were supposed to start the demo this last week on the 3rd floor. I've already got the abatement done for the asbestos, so now we're ready to start the actual demo. The problem with that is, if we demo that now, we won't have any heat in that 3rd floor area because we'll be removing it. The units that are spec'd for that originally were not that far out. Now they're 32 weeks away.
Oh.
So I have the architect and engineers, and I just met with them day before Monday, and we're trying to look and see if there is another brand of equipment that we can go to, which will have equal value. There'll still be a reliable piece of equipment, but if the lead times are less, then I'm probably going to try to go that route. Normally in situations like that, they'll go with the lowest price, so that's why the lead times are long. So if we can negotiate something and lessen the lead time, then that's what we'll do. We'll have to. Originally, going back to Liberty, those units were supposed to be here the end of April, and they were pushed all the way back till the end of October, and that's maybe. So we probably won't get those on this year.
These are the heating units.
Heating and air conditioning,
Okay.
both. Because the 72 edition, we're taking the unit ventilators out, all of them. And then we're taking the unit ventilators along the wall out. So we're going to have everything above the ceiling so we'll have more space on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
And in doing that, that's why we have to gut everything and then redo it, because we have to repipe it, and it's just a lot of stuff. But the auditorium, almost by the end of this month, we should be great shape. I mean, I'm getting ready to line up training for the audio system itself, and there were about 3 or 4 items that we were waiting on, but yes, we're ready to go. And along with the auditorium, I found a company that will refurbish all of our seating, and they'll even make the new wooden arms. But what they do is they'll take 40 or 50 of them back to their facility. They dismantle them completely, and they put everything new into them and reupholster them, and they're like brand new, but they're still the original, the ones we have. So, kind of leaning that way to keep that look in the auditorium. So they're supposed to be here next week, and they're going to take about 3 or 4 chairs, and then they're going to do it at their, it's like a little, it's not a factory, it's just it's so we can see it. And then they're going to bring them back, and we can look at them. And
You're auditioning them then.
Kind of, yeah.
Is that the same company that did the Fisher seats? Because that's what they did there.
I don't know. I don't know who that company is. This particular company, and I could check with the Fisher and see who they had, but this particular company specializes in this type of seating. Mm-hmm. In fact, when we were checking into it, and I had the architect doing some legwork on it, he even told the people, when he said, "You really want to come look at this auditorium." And after they did, they were really kind of excited about it. So, there's a lot of other things too. I about forgot about that stuff.
So with that in mind, is that like a whole year-long project that
Yeah.
we'll miss like a section that we would be out of chairs or something?
Well, we'll rotate them. We'll take part of them out and make sure that we always have so many. coming in. But yes, it'll take, it depends on the problems that they run into with the chairs, because some of them are in poor shape.
Yeah.
Somewhere around 9 months total, but at the end game, it'll be well worth it. Because along with that, we're looking into new draperies and carpet down the middle and all that stuff at one time, so that finally when we get done and walk away from it, the auditorium will be in great shape.
Okay, so back to her original question, and you already said about the soundboard. So that's the only piece, that's like the major piece that won't be ready, but it will be a usable, everything else will be usable, and we'll be able to use that space.
Yes, it'll be a loaner.
In August?
Oh, yes. We should be ready then. I mean, I plan on having the training 1st of August.
So we use the old sound system until the new one comes in?
Well, all the new sound systems in. We're just reusing, using the loaner soundboard.
So we're just missing a board.
Yeah, everything else is done. So it will be, and the thing about it is that it was supposed to have been here over a year ago, and it just keeps getting pushed back. Now, I did do some legwork and checking and checked with some other places that are doing the same thing, and now they're being told 24 to 36 months before they see one. So, yeah, it is. That and other things, but
So without, I'm sorry, without the new curtains, new carpet, new chairs, it won't look noticeably different to the public.
no, but it will to people that
That
attend
know.
there, because all the chairs will be more comfortable because they're redoing all of the inside, so that when you sit, it'll feel
But not
better.
at the end of the month, the end of August. Those
The
things
chairs won't be done. No,
That's what I'm
like
saying.
Gonna take some
Won't-
time.
That won't be noticeable. I just want to
No.
point that out. I don't want people saying, "What did you do all this time?" You know what I
Oh.
mean?
Well, actually, what's been done all that time is mostly the infrastructure of the auditorium. The rigging and the flies. Now we do have new curtains on the stage part of it, but I'm talking about the side window curtains and that sort of thing. But there was a lot of wire that was pulled. There's a lot of speakers. Everything's been replaced. There's a lot of electronics. It was a lot of work. The biggest problem with it was we just couldn't get the stuff. It's every time we turned around, there was a longer delay. And, some of our stuff was going to Western Illinois University, and I don't know how that happened. Their stuff was coming here, and they had to switch it, and I don't know.
Okay.
Logistics.
I just wondered what you thought about the track update and the football field.
Okay, well, the all-weather track, that's already gone out to bid. I'll have a bid opening on that Tuesday at 2:30. The bleachers behind the school and the turf and that whole big project it takes a little bit, because I had to have civil engineer, and different things. And we looked at everything. We looked at all the tunnels, because when that happens, I don't know if you noticed, the backside of Danville High School where the asphalt is, and it bows up and down, and there's a lot of trip hazards. But those tunnels are really poor shape, and they leak and they're cracked. The one wall of the bleachers that's moved and pushed out over 3 inches. So after a structural engineer looked at it, civil and architect, and all of us kind of got together, the end goal is, because they always ask, what is it that you really think that you want? And of course, we always go for the best we can possibly get. So, we want the back end of that school, that whole east side, to be concrete, and like a driveway, walkway, like what you would see around Memorial Stadium. And then we would have a parapet and proper drainage, and then take the concrete bleachers, because they're in such poor shape now. I don't know if you guys have walked across there, but that would be removed, and we'd have new bleachers, and it would all be incorporated with turf.
They're good to go this year, though, for what they have.
That's actually we'll be done with the specs on that real soon. And to update you on the other projects, KDBA Northeast, KDBA will be going out to bid in probably 2 months, and Northeast close to the same time.
Good work. Thank you.
Any
You've
further
really
questions?
done an amazing amount of work this summer. Really, I don't know how you did it. I guess the question is, did you sleep this summer at all?
Yeah, and we have good people. I mean, we really do. And the thing that benefits us now is, we have been able to build a small nucleus of our own maintenance, and a lot of work we do in-house as well. And we were able to hire a new electrician just a week ago or so, and he's doing a phenomenal job. We have one more opening in the maintenance department. If anyone's listening, it's a general type maintenance position that we still have an opening. I've been holding them because I'll just tell you the truth. When you have a small nucleus of people like that, it's a personality thing as well. So you have to make sure that you have all the right personalities that will fit and help each other. It's not uncommon for one person to jump on the mower and help guys mow when he's actually an electrician or the painter. You just have to do a lot of different things.
Okay, anything else? If not, stay right there for
Okay.
Permission to obtain estimates for purchase a new warehouse van.
We call everything warehouse, but it's actually for the maintenance department because our new electrician that we hired was driving down the road and the gas tank fell out of the back of the truck. So it's skidding. Good thing it was at the fire department. He pulled right in, but so we had it repaired. But I mean, if I'm going to send these guys out and we're going to do the work, we have to have what we need to do the work. So I need a new vehicle.
Okay.
So I'm asking that I can go out and
For permission to, so he's proposing a motion to obtain estimates to purchase a new warehouse van. Do I have a motion?
I move
So moved.
approval.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Yes.
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 Yes, motion passes 7-0.
Okay.
Thank you very
Thank
much. Anything else? Say no. Great. Good job. Human resources.
So I'll do grow your own and
Yes.
okay. All right. So this evening, with the challenge to fill vacancies, I think one of the first goals I received from Pastor Miller and then the rest of the board was to establish a grow your own program.
Yes.
That was outside of Miss Gladys's early childhood, Miss Davis. She wanted that early childhood, and so I think she'd be well pleased. But here we gave the attorneys the blues. I'm gonna tell you, they had to struggle with me. But we are asking in order to incentivize former Danville Community Consolidated District 118 students to seek college majors in education that allow them to obtain professional educator licenses from the Illinois State Board of Education and then return to District 118 to teach. We're asking you to allow us to establish a grow your own tuition payment program where we will pay a portion of the college tuition for up to 10. We're going to pilot with 10 of the 22 District 118 graduates who will obtain a degree and then return to the district to teach. There is a promissory note. There's an agreement. There's the you have to pay it back if you don't receive certain grades. But we want to pilot this with 10 students, and we're going to use, I know in the packet it has a blank for the credit hour. We needed to talk about it, and we established that at the state tuition rate, and we're going to use Eastern as the model for the per credit hour maximum for 16 maximum of 16 hours, 16 credit hours per semester. And so we would like to pilot this program and see if we can actually build our own and keep our students right here with us.
I move approval.
Second.
I have a motion and a second for Grow Your Own program to approve that. Questions or comments?
About how many new teachers would you foresee coming back to us on it from this first group of kids?
They would all have to come back. That's part of the.
Well, but how many? You said 10?
10 is I'm asking for a maximum of 10.
Okay.
Now, if I have 50, I'm going to come back to you next board meeting and say, can I expand that just a little bit?
Are you starting with incoming freshmen, or does it matter? Anybody who applies for it?
So I'm starting with the graduates from the 22, the class that just graduated.
The incoming freshman
Correct.
college. Mhm. So, to your answer, it would be at least 4 years.
Okay, then I missed the question. Tell
No,
me
it's
again.
just, it wasn't so much how soon, although that is an interesting, that's important, but that how many students? Now, do you anticipate this being something that we would do yearly?
So I'm gonna start with my babies from last year. And then as I get into the building and I'm talking and I'm feeling them out this year, who knows, I may come back for a teaching law program, culinary program. I don't know what will happen as I get into the classroom, to the students this school year. I'll come back with something. But I'm gonna start with the 10 and see how that goes.
Okay.
I think it's great work, Dr. Geddes.
Yes. Thank you.
So thank you for your legwork.
Thank you.
Would we entertain, or have there been any thought of, like you asked about, considering the freshmen, subsidizing someone who's already halfway through their program to have them come back? Say they are a junior, and we subsidize their last 2 years for them to come back. Would we entertain that possibility?
I would if you tell. I'll go get them. You give me the money, I'm gonna run.
Well, if the board would be interested in that, and if that arises, we would like to see that probably included also.
Are you giving me those
whatever?
options?
Yeah, whatever.
Oh,
Yeah, exactly. Whatever assistance we can give.
I like that, Dr. Aston.
Okay.
Yes.
Because
So
if we have
tuition.
other students that we can
We
still.
won't have that problem
Get 'em
after
in 2
4
years
years
instead
because
of
she
4.
will have, because she will have already gotten all the 4-year people. So, but in the next couple of years, if you have that ability to go get a 2-year or a 3-year person, we'll get them. Okay. Well, we have a motion and a second on the floor.
I think that's a good idea because with those people that are now listening, if there are students on their way back to school,
Yep.
they can get in touch with us.
We're here to help you.
So I want to bring back to the board's attention the time commitment it took me to find the students we have now, and what I've committed to do for 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th graders next year, and then we're adding this on. So I want everybody to recognize the time commitment because then it works when I talk to them. Like I could send people out to do it, but it's something about me, because I had how many people I had tell me that they were going to take a gap year. Okay, let me tell you, 2 were able to, and I'm still coming back for them 2. But yeah, so I need to talk to you personally so I can say no, that's not what we're doing. So if you want me to do that for my last 2 years, know that I'm going to take the time to. Okay, all right. Just want to make sure we understand the time.
I think we need to look at it both ways. I think we need to empower also staff to do it, not just you.
Absolutely.
Because that goes across the board. That all staff should be looking at those students that you may have in your classroom, that you're talking to, that are in the after-school programs, that are talking to you about going into education, and then hooking them up to you. That it's not all you.
Okay.
And I think it needs to be all the way across the board because I know that the kids are out there. It just may be that having that conversation with someone else, whether it's the guidance counselor, it's the classroom teacher, whichever. But I think that, and then if these types of programs are out there, that they're hooked into to you, that this is something we can start looking at so that we know coming down the road who we might have out there.
Well, certainly. Thank you. I thought I misunderstood. I thought you said go get the people who are juniors and seniors in college already.
Yes.
Okay. And then for my conversations, because remember my goals that I presented, I'm going to go into the 9th, 10th, and 11th, meet those students as well.
Yeah.
But I'll take any help that I can get. So I thought I misunderstood, but I got you.
No, we thought you were going to go everywhere and get everybody.
And
Okay,
then-
so
And utilize our new director of guidance, which we approved that
Yes.
position.
I just read that.
That's why I said that.
Randy Campbell.
yes, there's
Great
a lot
minds
of
think
people that
alike.
can help with this. Okay, this program though is dependent on continuity because we may not be here. Okay, we're starting this now. This is like we're a mission to Mars, but this mission is to Neptune. Okay, it's gonna seriously. This is years out in the future. We're planting the seed now, but we have to have the commitment that we follow through for this for at least the 4 years to get to the end of it, and hope that it will carry on. So. Good luck in the future. I hope we keep up with this. I'm sure we will, because as long as we're here, we'll do that. So
Can I ask, I didn't want people to think that we were going out to the students and hadn't made that same investment in our staff, because we have a number of staff who have gone back, and so we've helped with that now. Well, I know when our student taught way back 5 years ago, that I had to take off to go student teach. And now we're making it possible that you can still keep your job and benefits and do the student teaching as long as you do the student teaching in here. So we've grown with our own staff. We've offered incentives. We'll send you back. We'll pay the credits. So I didn't want you to think we were doing something out there that we aren't doing here in our own house with our own staff.
We have quite a few taking advantage of that next year, student teachers that'll be finished and hopefully filling some of those vacancies that we have.
And certainly I know there's some room to even grow with our staff. So we will continue to work on that as well.
for the public, we've been investing in the staff before we even did this with students. Okay, so that's been in the works already. So it isn't like we're catching up. It's that the staff was put in place first, and now we're offering this for students or for whomever. Okay. Any other questions or comments? If not, roll call vote, please.
Yes.
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 Yes, motion passes 7-0. Congratulations. That's
Thank
very
you.
good. Go on. Fine arts facilitator.
Good evening, board. I'm back up here again, Human Resources Director, Kimberly Pabst, with a recommendation for the Fine Arts Facilitator job description. Any questions?
Do we have a recommendation to accept the recommendation for fine arts facilitator?
So moved. Second.
I have a motion and a second. Now we can ask questions and make comments on it.
This is the second reading, right?
Correct.
Yes. I'm all for the fine arts facilitator. That's all I'm going to say. I am highly supportive of this position. I think we've been in need for this for a very long time. For those people who think, oh, it's just okay, we have a lot of different arts programs, language, all sorts of things that aren't necessarily that are the building administrator is the person who oversees us, but they're very busy. They have their plates are really full. They have a lot of things. They have a discipline. They have there's all sorts of things that they have to do, and then we have fine arts that should be coordinated between the middle school and the high school and the elementary, so that all the music teachers and the art teachers and everybody is kind of on the same page. Instead of they should be doing maybe the same thing, but do we know that they're all kind of doing the same thing? So I would love to see us focused more. Okay, not. I think they're doing a great job with what they have, because we have some really great programs, but we think we can be better. And I think everyone would be happy to be more focused, everybody on the same page. So we need someone to kind of oversee all of our fine arts, and that's what this is about. So I'm highly supportive of this.
One of the things that I like the most is the one under essential job responsibility is to communicate a fine arts calendar with families, community, and district, and utilize social media to communicate events from the calendar. So many things go on that you don't know are happening. And so it'd be really great for us to be able to hear about all these things.
Absolutely.
Full-time position?
Yes, correct.
Ms. Holleran,
Yes.
so many things, having 2 kids currently in school. I won't say anything about my own experience, except so many things.
So this person is also going to help assure that the curriculum at the elementary level is consistent building to building.
Correct. They would help design, create, not only with a team of teachers, but also with Mrs. Button as well in her department.
That's great. So you'll have that consistency.
Yes, that's what we're
and
looking
then the
for from
continuity.
the whole way.
Yes.
Much like we, in Ms. Button's office, we have a math person that maintains or ensures continuity of the curriculum. We have for reading, and this is actually going to be out of her office as well, and they will do the same with our finance.
Well, and it just really the support that it gives the building principals and assistant principals, because most of them, well, with the notable exception of Mr. Lenhart, they don't have that art specific background.
Well, and correct, and it can focus more on the PD that the staff are all receiving. There's so much from it that can come, but they would follow the same model that Mary Ellen Mrs. Button has put in place for all the other coaches and other facilitators as well.
That's great.
So a facilitator position is not a new administrative position?
Not an administrative position, no.
Thank you for clarifying. I appreciate it.
No.
Okay. Roll call vote, please.
Yes.
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 Yes, motion passes 7-0. Thank you very much. Congratulations. Thank you very,
Thank
very,
you.
very much. 9C.
Thank you. 9C, this is another recommendation that we have had in place in 2019-20 and in 2021. This is the daily rate for retired teachers from our district filling long-term vacancies. That means they open the classroom and or close the classroom. So they're there for at least a semester, if not the entire year, until their TRS days run them out. Right now, we have 7 retired teachers that have said they would come back and do this at the paid rate of their respective step in lane for this salary. So this would be a continuation of what we've had in place the last 2 years.
Thank you. May I have a motion, please?
I move approval.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments? Love to see 80.
Me too.
Okay, I'm seriously. Thank you.
Yes, so far 7
thank you
have completely
to our
committed.
staff who helped out, and I appreciate it very much. So we're very happy about that.
Is it right that there is a change on the number of days?
Well, actually, starting in July 1, they were supposed to go back to 120. So the last year was 140 days, and they were going back to 120. So we're hoping, last time I talked to Aaron Hurd, that he'll keep us in touch when they give more days, but nothing yet. But I'm sure it'll come. I'm hopeful. We have 120 school days before we have to worry about it. Hopefully. All right, ready for the next one?
Oh, no.
Oh, you have to.
Did we vote?
I was skipping ahead.
No,
Sorry.
we're going to right now. Roll
Yeah,
call vote, please.
Sorry.
Yes.
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 Yes, motion passes 7-0. D.
All right, another recommendation for our teaching assistants. This would be a great benefit as well. If we have teaching assistants who are certified to work as a long-term substitute teacher, we would like to pay them that long-term substitute teacher rate of $232 a day, while they're still getting their same benefits as a teaching assistant. This is something that we did pass through last year, and it was helpful, especially with some special education classroom teachers, so we'd like to see that happen again this year.
So move.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any questions or comments? None? Roll call vote, please.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, motion passes 7-0. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
9E. This is, I would entertain a motion to approve the resolution for dismissal of an educational support personnel, David Lowry, for reasons other than reduction in force.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second, and roll call vote, please.
Yes.
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 Yes, motion passes 7-0. Thank you very much. 10. It takes a village.
Good evening, Board of Education. I'm Kelly Truex, Director of Educational Support, and I have three of our community agencies that will be giving you an end-of-the-year report on their work from last year.
Hi, good evening. Good evening, Board, Dr. Geddes, Dr. Jacoby, Mr. Hart. Thank you guys so much for having us. My name is Jennifer Hoskins. I am currently a third grade teacher at Mead Park Elementary School, but I'm actually here today because I am one half of the husband-wife owner and operator of It Takes a Village Mentorship, which is the shirt I am donning for you guys. I was given the impression that you guys do have this in front of you, and so I'm going to be doing a little referring to it if you guys want to follow along with me. This was our pilot year. We started back in March, and we were able to consistently meet with 35
It's here.
third and, does everybody have it?
Give me a second.
Okay. If you don't, I have copies.
It's electronically.
Can I pop?
Yes, we have it.
Okay,
Yeah, it's
thank
on
you. I didn't know. Okay.
It's under 10.
So we were able to service 35 third and fourth grade boys at 3 different elementary schools. These boys were chosen based on 3 different criteria. The most common was behavioral issues within the classroom. And so the principal and or teacher referred them to us when we brought them into the program. The second reason we were referred a child was because of academic struggles, very often tied directly to behavioral issues. And then there was a few boys that we got to deal with that just really needed some strong male role models. And so in front of you is just some pictures you guys can peruse. But more importantly, I kind of want to draw your attention to the data, because there's some real data here about the boys that we dealt with. We used Spark Curriculum, which is from Castle, and if you know anything about Castle, it is a well-known social and emotional learning curriculum program developer. So in front of you, what you have, the boys' names were removed for anonymity purposes. We have the pre-assessment data. We assessed these boys prior to beginning the curriculum to see what some of their struggles were. The assessment itself had 7 categories and 20 subcategories, but I only gave you 3 because I thought that was a bit excessive. So what you'll see is the 3 subcategories were emotional regulation, their ability to regulate their emotions, their confidence levels, how do they feel about themselves, and their negative cognition. When something went wrong, how hard were they on themselves? And so what you can see in front of you is anybody that's highlighted in yellow is a child at risk in that area. If you go down to the bottom, you will see, I kind of summarized it for you. You will see that 60% of the boys we dealt with struggled with emotional regulation. 27% of the boys assessed struggled with confidence. And 50% of the boys assessed struggled with negative cognition. So we are definitely dealing with a group of young boys that really needed some extra help in their social and emotional learning. If you continue on in the packet, this is our post-assessment. After being with these boys for 15 weeks, meeting with them regularly once a week, as well as having some out-of-school opportunities for them to work on their social and emotional skills, this is what we found. If you'll notice, I kind of highlighted things based on color and how they correlated. Oh, you also see the questions. If you guys are wondering, what questions did we use to assess these boys? Okay, you will see that all the way down at the bottom. Here we go. 100% of the mentees assessed believed that the program made positive changes to their behavior. 58% of the mentees specifically identified that they had both better anger management and better emotional regulation, and that was in direct correlation with being a part of our program. 36% of the mentees feel more positively about themselves and their performances in the classroom. And 1/3 of the mentees directly identified learning about kindness and respecting others as an important character trait that they learned about during their mentoring program. So you have data in front of you to see that this program was beneficial to the boys that participated. Also, along with this, you will see a letter written by one of the teachers that worked along with the program, Mindy Spessert, a 4th grade teacher at Mead Park Elementary School. You can peruse that as well to see that she was just very satisfied with the help that was given to her. And then just some things showing the trainings and the different sign-ins in regards to that. So does anybody have any questions about what I've presented to you?
Well, how did you select the mentees?
The mentees or the mentors?
The mentors.
The mentors. We mainly reached out. So the other half of this husband-wife team is my husband, Pastor LaStan Hoskins, who was born and raised and grown in Danville, Illinois. And so he specifically hand-selected gentlemen in the community that he believes to be community leaders, men that are well-respected and carry themselves in a way that would benefit the young men who would see them. So they were hand-selected. Any other questions?
What about the parents of these kids? Do we have any type of communication between the mentors, the parents, what the parents thought about?
Well, prior to the children joining the program, they were given permission slips to the parents letting them know exactly what we were going to be doing, what we were going to be teaching. I know that Pastor Hoskins spoke to several parents often, just about their child, how they were doing. Even when we did some out of school activities, just communicating with the families. We did one activity. We had a skate night for the students, inviting the parents. And we had about 175 students and parents, and it was just for them, come. And at that time, there was an opportunity to really interact with them, talk to them, see what they thought about the program. And it was basically 100%. We love what you're doing, and we thank you for what you're doing with our boys.
Great.
Yes?
That's great. Thank you.
I'm good.
Right.
I'm good.
Yeah,
All right.
you're
Thank
good.
you guys so much.
I'm gonna incorporate parent survey as this thing. I just heard
Laura Lee,
a parent survey. Is this
and they'll be presenting their end of the year data.
I wrote that down too. I heard it.
Okay.
Good evening, Board and Administration. My name is Tricia Teague. I am Board President at Lowry Fellowship House. And what's being passed out to you now is a presentation, which I think you might already have electronically, parent survey responses, and then a sampling of our syllabus and the release form that parents had to sign. So I will be going briefly over the PowerPoint presentation. So the Ubuntu mentoring program for the 21-22 school year had 52 Danville High School students, 38 Northridge Middle School students, both in school during lunch as well as after school, and then 34 Southview Upper Elementary students who attended with us lunch only. We have 8 staff members, 4 of whom are district employees, and then 4 community members who served as volunteers. We provided dinner, transportation, tutoring, and snacks daily. The student engagement numbers, we had a 46% increase in our student engagement. At the beginning of the 2021 school year versus the end of the 2021-22 school year, you see that students began participating in more activities, whether those activities be school organizations or sports, or had a job outside of participating in Ubuntu. I'm not going to read the presentation to you because I don't believe in that. Been taught much better than that. Okay, the most important is the academic report card. 58% of our students in middle school saw improvement in language arts, and 16% had their grades remain the same. And in middle school math, 61% saw improvements in math, and 18% saw their grades remain the same. In high school, 42% of our students saw improvement in language arts, while 30% remained neutral in language arts. And in math, 44.4% saw improvement in math, and 24.4% had their grades remain the same. What should be noted is at the bottom, the success stories. 5 students had their GPA increase from the 21-22 school to the 21-22 school year from the year prior by a point. 1 student had her GPA increase from a 0.3 to 2.667. That is remarkable. Additionally, we highlighted, you have the full in your packet the full survey responses, but we highlighted a few of the items here in the presentation. So on the parents' survey responses on a scale of 1 to 5, how useful do you feel Ubuntu mentoring has been for your child? Now I gotta take my glasses off. 89% ranked it as a 5. And 10% ranked it as a 4. There were no rankings for 1, 2, or 3. And then on a scale of 1 to 5, how has your child's English and math grades improved since being a part of Ubuntu mentoring? 64% rated it as a 5, 21% rated it as a 4, 10% rated it as a 3, and 1% rated it as a 1. We also highlighted in here from our parent survey feedback just some of the extemporaneous feedback that the parents provided us. I will read these. I would like to say this program is of great help to my young sons. They are able to interact with their peers on such a positive level. Not only has the program helped them build relationships, it has also helped build up their confidence. The mentoring they receive is uplifting and has assured them they are not alone. It's helped them understand the strength of togetherness, hard work, education, and kindness. I'm truly grateful for the Ubuntu mentoring. I have to say that the time, effort, and concern that is given to these kids are undeniably what they need to be successful. Thanks for all that you've done and continue to do. The second comment, the Ubuntu program has been a waterfall of wealth to not only my family, but to many others. The children in the program have adults who not only they trust, but they know undoubtedly care for them and have their best interests at heart. Aside from providing a tutoring, encouraging academic excellence, providing a safe place to discuss personal problems, encouraging self-respect and respecting others, the adults running the program have given parents a peace of mind that comes from knowing that not only is your child learning and in a safe place, but in a safe place where the educator truly wants to be there and uplift your child. And lastly, and this is not the last one, but just the ones that are highlighted in our presentation. This is a program that gives my child a positive outlet that will place them on a path towards success after this program. It keeps them motivated because they are learning to stand up for what they believe in. They help them prepare for college, how to manage money and credit, work for themselves. It is the best thing that has come along really since I've been here in Danville. It keeps the kids off the streets. On the next page, we have photos from our HBCU college tour that just took place the last week of June going into July. Our 40 scholars visited 4 schools in person and 1 virtually. Again, this year they had an etiquette dinner and you can see them all dressed up. I love the fact that our young men are wearing ties. And then lastly, we have, I think this is last. Oh, it's not last. I'm sorry. We have our volunteer hours. Our youth averaged 10.6 hours this year. And we have a list of activities that they volunteered at. And then we also had a scholarship program. This is not a program that's funded by District 118 funds. This is a program that our staff reached out to people and asked for funds to give our students opportunities to further their education and supplement any other funds that they may have already received. So we awarded $14,250 this year.
Wow.
And you can see the list of all of the donors. And then our senior class had a GPA average of 3.15. Any questions?
No. For the senior. That's awesome.
Yes, Mrs. Schrader.
It's not exactly a question, but I just want to point out to thank David Groves. I know he returned to Danville for these kids, and I'm very grateful that you did. I'm going to tell on you a little bit here. He took this HBCU trip after having participated on the Arts in the Park boards. Immediately after, he was in Lincoln Park all weekend, and he moved the week before. So I don't know how you weren't just zombie walking through the whole experience, but clearly these kids have done you know, they've done so well underneath your mentorship. So thank you I know you've poured your heart into it. And, you know, it's not always an easy road, and I'm sure you've made, you know, mistakes and stuff, but I want to thank you and say that we see it and we notice it and we appreciate it.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, Ms. Chair.
I just,
Carrie.
I really poured over your data. What I would like to see, I really would like to see if we can get a better cross in. We have a lot of African American students in here. I'd like to see some brown kids in here, because just like the young lady that just left here, Patty's daughter, there are Hispanic students in this district that could also, they're all students that could really benefit from this. And I really want it to be an inclusive program, because Ubuntu means knowledge, not just for us, you know, knowledge that people need to know about us. And we have heard it here at this board meeting where people have been, you know, so nervous about critical race theory. They don't understand that that's not what we're saying in this district, that we're talking about critical cultural differences. And I really think we can grow this through this. And you've done an excellent job this year. That's not what I'm saying. But what I want to say is, and to parents that are sitting with students that need that extra support, the door is open. We're giving them an opportunity. And you have to walk through the door. You know, we can knock. Like my mom used to always say, you can take a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. And we need to, when we're looking at this, we look at our math scores, our language arts scores. We see how our kids can write. And there's just so much more that this can do. But we've got to have the kids there to do it.
Absolutely.
And so what concerns me are the numbers. Because we know that there are more kids in need than what we see here. And it's no fault of yours, but what I want to say this to the parents. You've got a program that's trying to work. We need you to get your kids there. I mean, you know, transportation, how do they get to and I know, Kelly, we've talked about this before, to getting to all these different programs.
Mm-hmm.
So that parents don't have an excuse.
Mm-hmm.
And also, Dr. Geddes mentioned earlier tonight, something we've talked about, is making sure they eat, they have a meal, you know, so that there is no excuse why you can't allow your child to go to a mentoring program. They get dinner, they get their homework done, they get all these things. And so the beauty of this, and the mentoring program before that Mr. Hoskins and his wife was talking about, the one we're going to get with Project Success, give District 118 credit that we're putting a lot of things out there to benefit all children.
Mm-hmm.
But we can't do it if parents aren't willing to get their kids involved in these programs. And we know, with us being a Title I district, there are needs. And so thank you for your hard work. And hopefully we can get, you know, it's I don't know why it is that, and I'll say it, that people believe that only African American students should go to Lowry Fellowship. It don't work that way. That's not why Lowry's there.
Right.
We service all kids.
That's right.
And I think that needs to be said. That door is open to all kids and not just us. Because we're not the only ones failing in this district.
Absolutely. I could not agree more.
David, I hope you look at your numbers and see they are a testament to your hard work. You had some growing pains this year. I was hard on you. Most you guys have no. He was talked to, but to get out. When it happens, right? He got a couple of those, and he took it like a champ. Because I see in you the potential to do exactly this. This was something you came up with that was in your heart and your spirit, and I was so hard on you because it can be so much more. Your numbers are phenomenal, and if I didn't see it in you, I wouldn't be so tough on you. Okay, great job. I need to tell you.
Thank you very much for all of the funds that you provided for our entire staff. The funds we were able to buy a van this year to be able to provide transportation. So we have continued to grow the program. I am just up here as the face because I'm the person that the board voted to be president. But David and the staff have done all of the work and deserve all of the accolades. So thank you very much.
Well done.
Our last presentation tonight is Project Success, and before they start, I just want to say thank you to our community agencies for providing this data. This year, we had a list of things that they had to provide to us, and they came through and did it. And I appreciate that because I need that to report to the state for what we're doing with our funds. So thank you to all of our community agencies. And this is Project Success.
Good evening, board, everyone. Thank you for having us here. We had a great year at Project Success. As you know, our grant is a little bit different because you guys were so generous in providing us that supplemental funding. We are funded through the Illinois State Board of Education with a 21st Century grant, and we get some state money through Team Reach as well. So a little different structure, but still fantastic results. So initially, we proposed to serve 185 students with the district funding, and we ended up serving 236. So what does that look like? I have Brianna Buchanan here with me this evening. She's going to talk a little bit about the programming work as she is out there. She's one of our site coordinators at Central Christian. She can really speak to the day-to-day operations with how we use some of that district money. Also, before I forget, we also have Brianna Buford, who is our new South View coordinator with us tonight. I wanted to bring her along and make sure we introduced her to you all. So, so what does it look like for Project Success? Most importantly, the thing that we were able to accomplish, and this is all because of the district, and I thank you so much, is the bus service has made a monumental difference in our attendance numbers. So, Northridge, our attendance grew by 179% from December of 21 to the end of the school year. And for Southview, it was right around 79%. So that bus service is just, it makes the world a difference because like Ms. Carey said, getting the kids there, being able to get them home, it makes a big difference. So thank you. I cannot overestimate how important that was. Some of the other fantastic things we did is we started Northridge and Southview Entrepreneurship and Business Development Learning Program. Students have learned what a business is, how it works. They've visited some local businesses, Wagner Machine Shop, A Plus Cuts, which is a barber shop here in town, and Moments by Steph, which is a photography business. So we hope to expand that and do some more of that, hopefully in the future. Photography Club has been the absolute, the kids love it, and you'll hear a little bit more about that from Bree. The kids absolutely love that. It opens them up to a world that that they may not otherwise get to experience. We were able to purchase some Oculuses, which are the virtual reality things. I'm not real tech savvy, but they're able to. My favorite part is actually do virtual field trips all around the world, so they can visit the pyramids, go under the sea, things that are just amazing. So all learning based and all educational. We focus on physical activity, music education, recreation, physical recreation, and expanding learning opportunities. So you have there in your package, you do have a breakdown by site of every student we were able to serve. I don't want to take up any more of your time. I'll be here to answer questions at the end. I'm going to let Bree talk because she has the great stuff.
Hello, board. My name again is Brianna Buchanan, and I work with kindergarten through 4th grade at Central Christian Church. But I will also be talking about the amazing things that our program, Southview's program, as well as Northridge's program has done throughout the school year. We have implemented a lot of new materials and opportunities for the students to get involved in, such as pottery, photography, community partnerships, and bigger field trips. First, we at Central Christian Church have implemented an advanced art club where we have taught the students the fundamentals of cameras and how to use them. With that, we started a daily vlog of what we do during programs so that parents are more involved and able to witness the amazing things that we do, as well as allow the children to take the pictures that we upload to our Facebook page. We also have started using air-dry clay for pottery, so students are able to use their creativity to make cups, animals, and whatever else they like, and it's been a huge hit. Lastly, our students in Art Club created bird feeders to put in trees around the YMCA as well as Central Christian Church. And we also picked up trash around the YMCA and the church for National Kindness Day. We also will soon help the church with their community garden to provide vegetables and other goods for people in need. They have like a blessing box that they put in front of the church where they have different foods, water, and they started the garden so they could add vegetables for people who need it. 4 of our high school DHS Teen Reach participants who were interested in pursuing a career in education were chosen to assist as program assistants at our Central Christian Church site. They learned basic skills such as the importance of being on time, filling out timesheets, and how to interact with coworkers. They also were able to receive specific training from long-term staff such as Ms. Beard and Ms. Moore on how to supervise children, lead a classroom, and how to tutor in a group setting versus a one-on-one setting. They also worked with me to learn the basics of planning program, keeping student enrollment forms, and staying within a site budget while making the program both fun and educational. For all of the students, this was pretty much their first real job, and they loved the experience. This program was 100% made possible by district funding, and while being great for our high school participants, it also has been great for our Central Site kids to see younger people in leadership roles. They love working with the high schoolers because high schoolers are able to get active with them. Thank you for making this program possible. So Southview and Northridge took their students on various field trips to different businesses and a college visit. On April 15th, they went on a field trip to the University of Illinois, Champaign-Urbana, where they were introduced to entrepreneurship and more. The students toured the campus, learned about the different fraternities and sororities, and the qualifications they would need to attend the university with direct advice and tips from students who already attend. The Northridge students were educated on admission, tips on receiving financial assistance, and were shown around campus. Both schools were able to eat lunch at the Student Dinner Center and taken on tours of the cultural learning centers that the students on campus have access to. And on April 4th, students took a trip to the photography studio, like Lucas said, ran by Stephanie Butler, Moments by Steph, to learn the logistics of how to use a camera in a more advanced aspect. The students learned how to take photos as well as edit, mark up, and even delete photos when shooting in a studio. They got to take pictures of their friends and get behind the scenes look on what it takes to develop a professional photo. And in the month of May, Southview students got to attend the Danville Tennis Center where they were offered a free tennis lesson, being shown how to properly hold the racket, different techniques, and the process it takes to join a competitive team. Lastly, Northridge focused on career readiness for the students and decided to create a small poster of different careers that the children could see themselves doing. They had to find these ideas from books, magazines, or they had to use their imagination. This was a neat way to end their entrepreneurship and business development segment for the school year because it forced them to dig deep in deciding what their futures would be. Students had to estimate the salary and find things in magazines and books that they would need for everyday expenses, but they could not go over their budget. This allowed them to learn about budgeting and other critical thinking skills. Thank you.
Good job.
Questions for us? I just want to add, this is in addition to all of our normal programming that Project Success has, you know, the tutoring, the STEM, SEL, all that curriculum that we are approved by the state to provide. So, yeah, this additional stuff is fantastic. It's stuff that we want. It's stuff that we need. And because of, you know, District 118, it's possible. So thank you.
Well done.
Nice
Listen,
job.
I do want to say, you know, thank you to Miss Kelly Truex. When I had the vision, you know, it was a blessing to have had the business background first because I could see a different way of funding. And when I told her what I wanted to do and how we could take the community agencies partner, but use that Title I funding and actually provide what they don't have, which is that seed money to get started by changing the payment structure, she said, "What are we going to do?" I said, "Yeah, come on, ride with me." And so she did. And then it's actually the model that was created here in District 118 is actually the model that's now used across the state because they were all like, oh, is that how it's done? And so, we need you to know that that started right here in District 118. And so I appreciate you taking that ride with me because initially you were like, no, get us what now?
I wasn't sure.
Right?
Springfield is taking our
Yep.
I know that.
But that started right here in Danville, District 118. So thank you, Ms. Truex. And great job, guys. I appreciate you all. Technology access point.
Well, let's see. That brings us to technology
It is.
access point upgrade.
Spending money. Like I always do. So, good evening, Board, Dr. Geddes, Annette Hummel, Director of Technology. So, yes, I am here tonight to recommend the upgrade for our access points. That basically what these are is tonight I have an example. I can like these are what we are replacing. They are located in every building. These access points connect to our controller, which allows us to connect outside. Your laptops will connect to the access points. That's how that works. I brought beginning of last year, we upgraded our wireless network controller. That is in place, but these have reached their end of life, and now they have to be replaced as well. So, originally, we thought this was going to be covered under E-rate, and then been working with Narcissus, and we found out that our E-rate money is depleted. We will get it again, but not right now, and we will not be able to wait much longer for these. So, Presidio did get the bid on that, and so the bid for the whole cost, the quote cost was for $519,270.50. With that covers hardware, the warranties, 3-year warranties, and everything that goes with those. We had worked with Presidio, who had in turn worked with Cisco, who is the manufacturer for these, and Narcissus and I were able to get a lease agreement with them, or not a lease agreement, but an annual payment agreement with them. So that's going to be a 5-year annual payment of $128,602.33 a year. So I am recommending that we proceed with the upgrade of wireless access points.
Let's see if we get a motion to approve that.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second for approval of access point upgrade for a cost of $509. I think it was 19. Was it?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Thousand and something.
270.50.
Yeah, that's it. Any questions or comments?
That's a 5.
This is the firewall then too, right?
Yeah, we've already replaced that. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So the beginning of last year, we replaced that with the network controllers, with the wireless network controllers.
So they talk to each other.
Mm-hmm.
We already checked that out.
Yes. Yes.
How easy is it to submit that some of the websites that are blocked can be unblocked?
We have a light speed filter that all those sites go through, and so
Yeah.
we manage those
You
through our
manage
light
them.
speed filter.
So teachers can ask for sites to be opened.
Yes.
But this isn't the firewall. This is the stuff that talks to the firewall.
This is primarily just the access points that allow you to communicate to the outside world. Because it goes from your laptop to the access point to the network controller through the firewall outside.
So it doesn't identify the threat then.
Not this one. Mm-mm.
Okay. It mentioned a lot of security stuff. What does that mean? What is it?
So the firmware. So each one of these has the firmware that talks to the controller.
Okay.
So yes, that's where that piece goes.
Makes sense.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
These are 5-year
Yes.
equipment,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
and in every building.
Every building, with multiple. For example, we have 2 in here, and that's just in this room alone.
So, how
So
many-
it's we originally had 600, and with Garfield being eliminated from that now, we were able take it down to $550. That still gives us a few spares in case we have some go out and we can replace.
So if they need replaced, we don't touch them, someone comes and fixes them?
We can replace them.
we
The
fix
IT, yeah.
Okay. But we're just paying for the box.
Exactly.
Okay.
Okay, you said 5 years,
Yes.
but the warranty's 3 years?
So they have the 3-year threat protection, but the warranty for it covers the 5 years that we have it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Will our E-rate funds that you say are coming, we'll be getting them again, will they be able to cover this in years 2 through 5?
Probably not, just because we'll be already in the contract with them. We do have some funds from 18 and 19 that I know that we're still trying to see if we can get those. They were already designated. So what happens with E-rate is we're learning a lot. Narcissus and I are learning a lot with E-rate. So what happens is once you designate the E-rate funds towards a project, they go towards that project. And so once you're awarded that and you submit it, you're kind of locked in. So since those past projects were never finished or never, I'm not sure what happened because that was before me. We're trying to see, we've got an E-rate rep that works with us to see if we can get those funds for future projects.
So E-rate has a bucket of money that you're committed to based on your free and reduced lunch count. And that qualifies your discount. What they actually do is discount your services, right? So here's your bucket. And you fill out 471s, and that says, this is what I'm going to do. These are the things I'm going to do. We committed to these things. Prior to her, some things did not get finished. E-rate says, nope, you're locked there. And so you can't do the new stuff because you said you were going to do that. Now, when that portion of the bucket is over and you have new bucket, you can now start to commit some of these things. But you will already have that contract going. So no, you can't go back and get those. But eventually, when you have a new bucket and you're not in a contract, then you can add it to the E-rate.
Yeah.
It's very lock and step. So it's important to kind of finish the things that you commit to and make sure that those are the things you want to do.
Do you know when our last upgrade was? When we bought those?
2016.
16? Oh yeah, they're old.
Yeah.
They need to be replaced.
Yes, they do.
Is our tech department's gonna put these new ones in, or they will be installed by the company?
So the installation, because of the wiring, will go through KCOM, and that's already within the all that's included in. But once they're already installed and they need to be replaced, we can replace those.
Okay.
It's apparent that you anticipated this because it says here, the funds for the project have already been budgeted to cover the costs.
Yeah, when we were hoping that it was going to be E-rate, and when they said that it was not, we thought we were going to have to, we weren't sure what we were going to do because we know that they need to be replaced. So it was many conversations back and forth trying to see. And Presidio has been very good to us. They actually reached out to Cisco for us to see if they could do the 5-year annual payment plan for us. Then we could cut that cost and don't have to pay it all up front.
Do you anticipate you're going to have the problem Skip's had? They have these somewhere, or are they going to be?
We've been talking, we've discussed that, and right now they said it looks good.
Okay.
So when they tell me it looks good, I like to hurry up, get here, get it approved. Because they're waiting for us to just say, yep, it's approved.
Well, let's find out. If there are any other questions, roll call vote, please.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, motion passes 7-0. So we will have access point upgrade with places all over the district.
That's right.
That'll be great. Thank you very much. Bringing us to item number 12, informational items. How about a registration update?
Yep. So registration for the 22-23 school year has been open since May 9th. 2 days of centralized registration took place at Danville High School in the field house on June 15th and 16th. The participation was low. We are asking parents to avoid enrollment delays on the first day of attendance. If you wait to enroll your child, there's no way I can get them scheduled for a bus. So there will be a delay in when they can come to school. To avoid these delays, please register your child by July 31st so that we can get them scheduled and we can get them on the bus. Their first students they're having some staffing shortages and challenges, and so they need time. That's only 2 weeks. We really should have this done already. So parents, to register, to go to the top of the district website and click on the quick links, that tab there, select registration. Other events to support registration for the school year, on July 27th, there will be an educational fair at Fair Oaks Community Center from 10 to 2. We will have staff members there to assist you. On August 6th, D-Rock, they're having an event at Garfield Park from 11 to 6. So there are opportunities. This time we've put signs out along, you'll see them along the road to tell you to come register. Please avoid, you can't be mad at us when we're saying, can't get Johnny in the class because he's not registered. So please help us by getting your students registered. Next informational item, let's talk about the Canon capsule. I understand there's been lots of conversation on Facebook, etc. And what are they doing with that Canon capsule? I would like to read to you from Mr. Denman's book.
History book.
Let me share a little history with you. In 1982, with the decline in enrollment and the school district's vulnerable fiscal position, a committee toured and studied the district schools. The committee recommended that all of the following schools be closed: Cannon, Fairchild, and Roselawn, 1982. Here we are in 2022. What they did with those schools that closed, because Cannon is the only one that's left, but with Fairchild and Roselawn, so Fairchild first. The Fairchild School Reunion Committee, they held several reunions, and the members were present at the time the capsules were open. They took the 1940 cornerstone of Fairchild School. When it was open in 2007, they found newspapers, student work, class lists, and other items, and those well-preserved items were donated, and they are now at the Vermilion County Museum. In 2006, they worked on Douglas School. I understand the building took much longer for it to be torn down because it was so well built. But on July 22nd, 2006, its time capsule from the cornerstone was opened at a ceremony at Douglas Park. Inside they had postcards, a directory of the staff members, cards from contractors, etc. And that tin, because it's a soldered tin capsule, the contents are now housed at the Vermilion County Museum. The cornerstone rests on the west lawn of Danville High School. It is my recommendation that we do the same. I would recommend that we allow the Vermilion County Museum to open the capsule. We can videotape it or, stream it so that our students can see it. It can be an event and the teachers can participate and we can do guessing about what we think is in it, and it can be a whole thing that we do at the Vermilion County Museum, and we allow them to open it and store the contents as we have in the past. Just wanted to provide that information from the history of Danville schools.
Have we contacted them yet to ask them if they are interested in doing that?
I wanted to come to you guys first to get your direction.
I think that's a great idea.
I like that idea.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Can I go on to superintendent comments? Wrap it up.
Yes,
Ready?
go ahead.
All right. K6 Fine Arts Camp. Terrific job, Mr. Klett and Mr. Owens, on planning our very first D118 K6 Fine Art Camp. It took place from July 11th through the 15th at Northridge Middle School and served 150 students. Your entire camp crew, including your high school students, were very impressive. You had curriculums and activities to expose them to art and instrumental performance, singing, and drama. The final performance of both grade levels showed that your students had fun, they learned a lot, and that was the only group of students that worked all week and were not paid, and the Board of Education has given me the opportunity or the ability to go and work out to make sure that they receive some compensation for working. We appreciate all that you've done. Next, I want to thank Vermilion Advantage for giving me the flexibility and loaning me Nicole V. I can't even think of her
Van
last
Hefty.
name. Van Hefty. Again, from the work that we were able to do, we were able to influence what is happening in our businesses. And Flex and Gate wanted to be sure that we knew that from our hard work, it is the first time in years that they are fully staffed. So great job. First day of school. Staff, August 10th and 11th. Students, August 12th. It's a Friday, and there will be an early dismissal. I want to welcome all of the new staff, welcome new administrators. I appreciate you all. I know you had other options and choices, and I'm grateful that you chose to be here with us to serve. I appreciate you. Welcome to the new school year.
That it?
That's it.
Excellent. Let's go from the left to the right, please. Elder Parks.
Thank you, Dr. Askin, and to this board, and to the superintendent, and to all of you that are present. I have enjoyed this evening's presentation. It's been given by all of you. You've all done an outstanding job. And I take my hats off to the hard work that you all have put in to make this district what it is. I want to thank the NAACP for their presentation, scholarship to Sister Isabella. And I also want to say to those that are part of the AVID program, my goodness gracious, you guys are somebody. I'm here to tell you. And this young man, that shirt, that T-shirt, I like that. Can I get one of those?
I know where to get it.
I looked at that and I said, man, that takes that puts the topping on the cake. So we thank you all for the work that you've done and continue. And I know it's not easy, but please believe me, the reward is going to be great when these students come back to Danville and be a part of this district. And so again, we thank you. I personally thank you for what you've done. You've so much that was been given here tonight that I mean, it's wonderful to hear and also to see the work that has been given, especially again to the organization that takes a village, and also to the Lowry Fellowship and Project Success, the work that you all are doing on behalf of this community, and for the District 118 for the support they've given to these organizations. So to God be the glory for the great things that he continues to do here in the city of Danville. God bless you all. I would just like to just say also, I was so impressed with all of the different programs that are going on, that I'm glad to be a part of this board, and how many young people are we influencing the right way. And they're getting educated, and they're learning to have even greater respect for themselves as well as our community. And I just wanted to say to Dr. Geddes, thank you again for growing our own program. I have been harassing you since you came in as the superintendent, because I realized that our best possibility for having more teachers within our district, and specifically African American teachers, because we don't have nearly the percentage that we should have with the diversity of our district. And so I'm grateful for this Grow Your Own program. I just know that it's going to really help. And I was glad it was mentioned also tonight that all of the staff that we have right now are now also going to be in a position that they will not have to go back to college in order to get their teaching certifications, but they will be able to work still within the district, and that will help also to finish their education and provide us with some more Grow Your Own. So really excited about this meeting tonight. As Elder Parks have stated, that we see so much positive things
happening, and the program that our teachers and staff went away for. Excited again for this young man and everybody else that spoke tonight. Because when our teachers are excited, that's going to make our students excited. When they sense that the staff is there, not just for a paycheck, but they're there to help them, and they enjoy it. They're in their passion, their calling for life. And so again, I too am excited about where we're headed, and I'm just going to continue to pray for this upcoming school year that we will even have more success all the way around. So again, thank you to the other board members that has also been so supportive of all these programs that we've been trusted with to try to move our district even greater in supporting our students. So thank you.
I echo all of those words and appreciate all of the enthusiasm that has been here tonight. Congratulations to our new administrative staff. You have a big job and you're big people to fill those shoes. So thank you for what you've done and what you'll continue to do for the district. I did have the pleasure of going to the Fine Arts, I don't know what it was called, the final program, and it was fun. It was really fun. So hats off to Mr. Owens and Mr. Klett. To watch them work with the kids, we walked out, and Dr. Geddes said, whew, all of those kids, and they were all busy and they were all enthusiastic, and those teachers just let them be busy, let them be creative, and it was a fun thing to see. So hats off to all those people who worked so hard on that program. It was really, really great.
Okay. Go ahead.
Let me go? Okay. Sorry. I just want to say on July 12th, when I woke up and I heard the news that one of our B18 families, B118 families was going through some of the most unimaginable things. I have a lot of words I could say about that, but instead I'm going to read to you a beautiful tribute to Ronald Rennell Miller Jr., born February 24th, 2008, to Rennell and Ronald Miller Sr. in Chicago, Illinois, was the seventh child out of 9. Ronald Jr., I think it's important we all remember his name, was affectionately nicknamed Lil Ron. Lil Ron graduated 8th grade from Northridge Middle School in Danville. He was a respected son, brother, uncle, nephew, and cousin who loved his family dearly. He was an intelligent child with an abundance of talent and motivation. It was part of his personality to make sure there was a smile on the face of everyone he came in contact with. Whenever Lil Ron was around, there were always jokes and laughters to be shared. He had a vision to make a movie about his family and the love they all have for each other. Ronald R. Miller Jr. departed this earthly life not far from where we're sitting down right now, on Monday, July 11th, 2022. He leaves to mourn, I'm sure greatly, and cherish his memories to his parents, Rennell, sorry if I'm saying your name wrong, and Ronald Miller Sr., 4 sisters. Kima Gray, Dominique, Teresa, Tashana Jones, all of Danville, 3 brothers, Frank Gray, Davion Jones, Darion Miller, all of Danville, 3 uncles, Kenneth Pratt, Michael Jones, Maurice Jones, all of Chicago, Illinois, and 1 aunt, Calvina Jones of Danville, 2 grandfathers, Danny Pratt, Theo Forrest, both Kilmichael, Mississippi, 1 special cousin, Jesse, Man Rhodes, 3 nieces, Maria Gray, Semiah Gray, Catalia Jones, 4 nephews, Dante Williams, Damani Scott, Jacoby Walston, Samir Gray, and a host of other relatives and friends. He is preceded in death by 1 brother, Isaiah D. Miller, 2 grandmothers, Charles Sir Jones and Pandora Pratt, 1 grandfather, Calvin Jones, and 1 aunt, Tiffany Jones. I think it's important to know a celebration of life will be held 11 a.m. Monday, July 25th at sunset. Pastor Frank McCullough will officiate burial, Sunset Memorial Park. Visitation will be held Sunday, July 24th from 2 to 4 and 1 hour prior to the services. Again, this family, our family, going through the unimaginable. So just wanted to say you can see his face. You go on Sunset's website. It's important that we don't forget him. That's all for me.
I'd just like to say it's been a short summer for a lot of our staff. We appreciate what they've done this summer and all the programs. And really looking forward to a great start. I know that Northeast has already started their new school year, but looking forward. And I echo Dr. Geddes. Parents, please get your children registered, because you start to send us emails about Johnny not getting on the bus and there wasn't a bus for him. But there's not going to be a bus if we don't get them registered. And you cannot show up the first day of school in a building upset with staff that your child's not on the roll somewhere. And you've had plenty of time this summer. Like Dr. Geddes said, there's going to be posters out. Please, please get your child registered so that they are able to start the first day with their peers, to be excited about the new school year and walking into their buildings. So please, just get the registration done, because then you'll have to make an appointment and you'll be upset about when your appointment, and it can't all be done in one day. So please get them registered.
Well, I just wanted to acknowledge Dr. Geddes and say thank you for the department updates. And the department heads who gave the updates. It was really helpful. Thank you for being kind of fast, but it was really helpful to be able to get the broad picture of what's going on in the district. And we appreciate your preparedness, and we appreciate everything that you did to share that with us. And I also wanted to talk directly to Dr. Geddes or about her. But one of the things that you're very gifted at is relationships. And when you came here, I know that working with the whole child was really important to you. And so the work that you did with our seniors this year was just right in your wheelhouse. And I'm grateful for that, because not everyone can do that. But our whole high school is going to be able to now, as part of your plan, the different grades for different reasons are going to be able to have that one-on-one. And it's just your gifting, and I appreciate that it's a little unconventional. So I appreciate that you are willing to do the unconventional thing that is the best thing for our kids. And I respect my colleagues and this board for giving you that freedom to be who you are with our young people, and I really see that you're bringing out the best in them. I do think that the sit down with the superintendent is one of the things that people are going to remember from their high school experience, and especially for those kids that are now on to greater things than they would have been without you. That's just. Thank you for noticing that moment in time, because it was really needed. And I think as we pull out of this season of the pandemic, as we pull out of all the reaction that we've had to go through as a district, that it's one of the refreshing things that's going to be able to really come up underneath those kids, especially at our older kids, our secondary kids. So thank you for that. The other thing I just wanted to point out, I asked Mrs. Bunton a question when she was up, and it was about the the comprehensive personal health and safety education and the comprehensive sexual health education. That was really important to me because I've had parents that have talked to me about that. A year ago, it was a little less than a year ago, Dr. Geddes talked to us and talked to the community and said, please pay attention to what's happening with Senate Bill 818, SB 818. And it is something that changed the way that the state of Illinois does sex education. It's not a requirement. It is a requirement that if you do that as a district, you have to do it the way that they set out. And the way that they set out follows some national standards, and the state of Illinois is the only state that has, I think, at least at the time, complied with those standards. The group that did those standards is unelected and they're not accountable, and the state of Illinois has also put in their code that if those standards change, we just update if you want to, I can give information. The standards I feel are very explicit. They teach sex education down to kindergarten level. They are very, very, I thought, even alarming. So I want to thank first of all, this board has not approved that major change. So I just want to point out, because not everyone this happened without it, because nothing had to happen. People wouldn't have even known that it's happening in other places, but it's not affecting our kids. And I thank Mrs. Button, I thank Dr. Geddes, the leadership of our assistant superintendents for making sure that our kids' childhood is protected. And I felt strongly enough about that I really felt the need to say that. The code, it's Public Act 102-0522. It is not applying to us because we don't teach that curriculum. So, thank you.
It's late, so I'm going to be very, very brief. Ronald he should be alive. Okay. Number two, thanks to the arts camp, that was awesome. The wisdom of Brian Klett and Mr. Owens to have the root canals play for them was just, I think, was very, very, very ingenious. Everything else. Oh, the last thing. No one's listening, but if you do and you hear this, and I'm the last thing and you're a parent out there, yes. Get registered, but also get vaccinated and get your school report forms, because it's important and we don't want to keep you out of school for these reasons. And we have this debate every year whether we will keep them out because of lack of vaccination, and we're going to get tough this year. So we want those vaccinations, so please do it, and let's get everything ready so we can all start school on time. With that, we are adjourned. Have a wonderful summer, and we'll see you in a couple weeks. Thanks a lot, guys.
Whoever reminded me, thank you.
That ship sailed.
Thank you.